you got in here? Burn it. You gonna welcome them or what?
Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the new millennium, the rivalry between Portage Central Mustangs and Portage Northern Huskies. And here come the Mustangs on the field. A wonderful crowd here tonight. The weather's a little drizzly, which might be to the favor of the Mustangs with Portage Northern's speed that they got in the backfield. Jack, what do you think?
Well, I think you're pretty good at this, Ken. That sounded real good. You've been watching a lot of ABC stuff that night, haven't you?
I taped Monday Night Football for 3 weeks, getting ready for this thing.
Yeah, well, I taped some Nintendo once, but kind of waiting for the Huskies here. But yeah, I think if the weather gets bad, it's going to slow us down in the backfield, but it might help us in the line of scrimmage because we're not quite as quick as they are there, I don't think.
And I don't know if we have quite the size up front that they do either. So and I think that's where the battle might be won, is down there in the trenches, just as usual, the old cliche there.
Well,
we're waiting for the Northern Huskies to enter the field here.
I think this game kind of is going to stem on errors, though. It always seems like it comes down to penalties and big plays. So we'll see. That's one thing good about this game. You never know what's going to happen.
Yep, you never do. I'll tell you, last year, if you think back, or those of you that saw last year's game, there were a couple of huge interceptions by Portage Northern early on in the game that kind of turned the tide, because Central last year kind of put their money on the passing game. Their running game wasn't up to what it had been in the past, and with their good quarterback, Cubitt, I think was his name, he had quite an arm, and they relied pretty heavy on him.
Well, I hope the same thing happens again this year, so
yeah,
we'll see what happens.
I hope they rely a lot on him because he's not here. Of course, he followed his dad out west, what was that, Wyoming, not Wyoming, but one of those.
Well, whatever you say, I'll go along with.
Okay,
so.
he went to Wyoming.
That sounds good to me.
Here come the Portage Northern Huskies on the field. And I'll tell you, Jack, being at the school this whole week, you could just feel the electricity. Northern has something to prove here. They want to make sure that everybody knows that last year wasn't a fluke. We can see a lot of students lining the field and getting ready for the Huskies to enter on, run down through the tunnel. Wonderful crowd here. They were predicting somewhere in the neighborhood of 8,000 last I heard. They brought in some extra bleachers.
Well, I think the weather's going to hold it down a little bit, Ken. But here they come, the Huskies.
Tell you, the coaches for Portage Northern were sure inspired this week. I tried to talk to Pete Skirmerhorn in the hallway a couple times, and I'm not sure he knew which shoe was on which foot there. But
well, that happens all the time, game or no game. So.
That's true.
But yeah, this is just a fun game because it means just so much. You know, I mean, winning is everything, and losing hurts a lot more than the other losses. So this game, you know, is the big one for them.
We've seen that so often in the past, where the two teams, when they come together after this game has been won or lost, it just affected the performance the rest of the year. And it's almost too bad that it has to happen at this time of the year, because it'd be a nice way to wrap up the season.
Well, once again, this is our home game, Ken, but it's really our home away game. So
yeah, it is. It seems how right across the street's Portage Central High School. That makes it kind of interesting.
I mean, everything's pretty familiar with them for practice and everything else, so it makes it a lot tougher.
In fact, the motto of Portage Northern Huskies has been fighting for a home here the last couple years, and it looks to me like, well, I do believe that Portage Northern is going to be kicking off with my football expertise here, Jack, and
I'm really impressed.
Special teams is a really big factor in this game. Of course, this is the first game that we get Joey Sorrentos back and Kelly Baraka back, and of course Joey's little brother, if you call him little.
You know, that's the thing, though. I mean, getting those kids back help, but I'll tell you, you're not going to win it just with those guys. I mean, if the Huskies win tonight, it's going to be a team effort, and those other kids on that team have got to pull it up a little bit. And I'm not sure they did that in the last couple games when Kelly and Joey, you know, weren't available. It was almost like they felt they couldn't do it. And so, but if anything, I'll give them a shot in the arm here, get them ready for the Mustangs, and we'll see what happens.
Yep, belief level is such an important factor. Here we go, folks. The referee's got his hand up in the air, ready to start the kickoff. It clocks at 12 minutes and counting, and we're ready to roll.
It's
Nice kick back in the corner, number 25 from the Mustangs.
Yeah.
Ooh, one man to beat. That could have been close, Jack.
Right away, got a good run back there. I mean, Bob Knight always prepares his kids well, and so, you know, it's going to be a battle.
You can always tell a Bob Knight team with the discipline that they have on the field as far as blocking assignments go and pass patterns and so forth. Well, Portage Central here is going to get the ball first then, and they're going to start off on about the 30-yard line.
You know, it's important for whatever team that gets that lead, you know. I mean, it's such a boost for them. So, I mean, for the Huskies, they've got to play well and get on top, and they play a lot better when they're in the lead, and at least they have in the last couple of years.
Yeah, I think it's a big confidence factor. They haven't been known for their come-from-behind victories, but we're set up in the classic veer formation for Portage Central. They've been running that since Bob Knight got here. Pretty successful, too. That was a good stand by the interior of Northern's line there, stuffing up the middle. Bob Knight, I was talking to him last night, and he said that, I noticed that I was kidding him, and I told him that he put a new wrinkle in the offense, and he said, well, I'd love to run the veer all we can, and that's what we'll always run unless we can't, and then we'll go to something else. And he pretty much holds true to that. Boy, they're coming right at the Huskies here. Just going to see what they're made of here on the line of scrimmage. That's 2 in a row between the tackles, and that's classic Portage Central football. They want to run up inside there.
Well, we're going to have to, you know, get that line so it just stirs it up, because they're going to test it early.
Okay, off tackle, here we go. They've got a little bit more speed than what I think Portage Northern had them believe they did. And once they do get to the outside, once again, it's just so classic Portage Central football. You get 8 yards here, 8 yards there, 2, 3 yards at a time. They just tend to wear you down. And if you let their offense on the field for any length of time, they're going to score, and we're going to be in trouble here right off the bat.
Well, we just got to hope for a mistake, Ken.
Yeah, big mistake. Portage Central breaks out of the huddle into the pro set formation. 2 wideouts. That's that inside trap. Boy, they run that so successful in the past. The quarterback comes out of there with a little reverse pivot, and they pull a guard on that, and I'm sure we'll see that from time to time, and it's usually a huge play.
Well, that was a good stick by Sharanto, so right there.
Yeah, he shows once he's in the game, they don't run up the middle nearly as much as what they do when he's not there. That really hurt us when Joey wasn't in there against Mattawan when he came out after the second quarter. They started running the ball up the middle. There's a quick pitch to the left side. Nobody's out there. Here we go. Okay, we definitely got to shore up the defensive backfield there. They've got to come up and fill once our line's been taken out by a few good blocks. So this is going to get tight here if we don't take them out here pretty quick and make a good stand.
Well, if it comes down to one-on-one on the outsides, we're in trouble.
Yeah, we are.
You know, we need to do a little bit of team tackling here.
Boy, they sure haven't changed up their formations at all. And once again, he gives it to the first guy through on that veer, that option. Quarterback runs down the line, carrying out the fake. Still picked up about 4 yards. Boy, just 4 yards at a time is not going to get it done on the defensive side of the ball here.
Well, like you said, it's pretty classic Portage Central. You know, ball control, and just eat up the clock and put the pressure on the defense is all they're doing right now. You know, the Huskies are going to have to make a stand here quick.
They're certainly not showing any respect to Portage Northern at all right now. They're going to come at us and just see what we're made of here. Yeah, that was a much better job that time filling by number 23. He came up pretty quick on that one for Portage Northern. And I'll be honest, I sure wish I knew who that was. They got new uniforms tonight. And so I was most of the numbers match, but there's one or two that are going to be the mystery man out there. But we'll try and get a hold of who that is before this is over.
Big down, Ken. 3rd and 5.
That was well said, Jack.
Had to think about it for a long time, but.
Oh, that was a great
play.
job. Oh, I'll tell you, second effort got him, the quarterback, second effort. He got up and passed the first down. I thought that they had that one stuffed right at the line of scrimmage, and then he came squirting out of there. That's just a great job by number 11 there, Jason Shooter from Portage Central. He pulled that ball out right after riding the fullback in the line. Everybody jumped on top of the fullback, and they forgot about the quarterback who just kind of sneaked in behind him for the first down. Now we're in trouble. It's 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line.
Here we go again, a sweep on the outside. This time we pursued pretty well, though.
That's number 32, Jameson Putnick from Portage Central.
So far, I'm pretty impressed. It's been penalty-free, and a big game like this, a lot of times, you know, the kids are on edge, and they're just a little bit, they want to do so well that they're a little bit quick in what they do, but both teams seem to be playing at least hard-nosed and intelligent football right now.
Yeah. Unlike last year's, I think there were quite a few flags thrown last year, if I remember right. Of course, some of those flags were when the emotions got pretty high and some of the action occurred after the whistle had blown. Once again, the quarterback rides it up in the middle with the
there's a flag.
Fullback.
Got a yellow hanky.
Great timing.
Yeah, I know.
Jack,
well, I was hoping for that. You know, I was hoping for maybe a holding call or something.
Well, as soon as you say we haven't had any flags, they throw one.
Well,
it looks like it's going against the Mustangs.
Holding.
That's a big break for the Huskies down inside the 20 like that.
Well, that's what I was hoping for, Ken, so I was just trying to kind of encourage someone to do that.
Subliminal messages.
Yeah, well,
here
we need it
Portage
for a
Central.
while.
I'll tell you, if for those of you that don't know, this is Ken Hahn here with Jack Mogelson, and I think it's just a pleasure for me to be up here in the booth with a guy that has the record and the coaching experience and the success that Jack has, and he promised me that he'd buy me a cup of hot chocolate if I mentioned his name more than 5 times tonight. So that's one. Quarterback pulled it out. And good job there by the Husky defense, number 33. That's Joey Sorrento's little brother, Paul. He's stepping up his game a little bit. He just got back in the lineup here, I believe, last week. So this is really only going to be the first real test of the Huskies at full strength there.
Well, it looks like 3rd and 11. Be a big one here.
Yeah, you know, in the past, Portage Central has done that quick little tight end dump. They'll fake it to the fullback, and then the quarterback will pull up. Be interesting to see what he does at this time. Nope, going to the pitch, number 30, around the right side. That's Dimmick for Portage Central.
Oh, he's got it too. First down.
First down. They caved in the whole left side of Portage Northern's defensive line and just got the corner on it. And now it's going to be 1st and 10 from the 10, it looks like.
Yeah, the Mustangs just seem to be blowing out the Huskies on the side.
Yeah, that's going to be here's going to be a real big series. If Portage Northern can shut them down, I think their confidence level is going to go way up. But if they let them through here without much resistance, this could be for a long night for the Huskies here.
Like about a 5-yard gain, especially, Ken, when the Mustangs have had trouble scoring all this year.
Yeah.
You know, they've not put points on the board very quickly, and they're doing that right now. They're getting close.
You know, just like you mentioned earlier, though, Jack, with this game, it doesn't seem to matter what happened earlier in the season. This is a no-holds-barred type of a football game.
Well, I think some of the Mustangs remember what happened last year, and they're playing with a little bit of intensity right now.
They definitely have something to prove. Oh, that was a nice defensive play in there by number 50 for Portage Northern. That's Quentin McKinley. He upended the Portage Central ball carrier there. Got a 3rd and goal coming up here. This is a big play for both teams.
So far, the Mustangs have converted on all the big plays so far, all those 3rd down plays. they've converted. So we'll
and
see.
each time it's been a little quick pitch around
Yep.
the outside. So we'll see if they stick with what's been. Yep, there we go. The quick pitch and
Got him this time.
Paul
Well,
Sorrentos came up.
Penalty on the play
and
too.
Filled pretty quick. Penalty with 2 defenders on the ball carrier, Jack, and no offensive man around besides the ball carrier. I don't know. That doesn't sound good for the.
It looks against. It's
hey.
Clipping against the Mustangs.
Big break by Northern. Big break. Now, do you move them back and give them 3rd down over? Or do you take it 4th down?
What kind of field goal kicker do they have? Do you know?
I haven't seen their kicking game. Well, not yet, Kevin. We really appreciate that, but the band's not going to come on for another.
That's Kevin Hahn, our guest in the booth.
Announcer here, and he's doing a great job of watching football. He's a Portage Northern football fan for, gosh, Kev, what, 5 years now?
5.
Yep, 5 years. All right. 5 and a half. Well, it looks like they declined the penalty.
Yep. Well,
I guess we're going to find the answer.
We sure are.
We're a little more halfway through the first quarter here, and
well, they're a little mix up.
Central, yep.
Yep.
I think quarterback started counting heads, and he found that he didn't have the right personnel in there at the right time.
They only had 10 players on the field.
That's a heads-up play by a shooter there from Portage Central. He's that makes it nice when you got a quarterback that can keep his wits about him and keep you from getting penalties unnecessarily like that. Of course, they did have to waste a timeout. I don't know if that's going to be a factor from the first half or not. Well, we could take this minute here as there's a timeout on the field and talk just a little bit about that rivalry of Portage Central, Portage Northern. Of course, last year was the first time Portage Northern had won this game in, what, 12 years, 13 years?
Oh, I think ever since Joe Wood was coaching.
Joe Wood, yeah, and he's been gone for about 5 years,
yeah.
I think. In fact, I think that was when Matt Malone was in the backfield, and Ricky O was up front, and a guy by the name of, was it Jason Keller, was quarterback in that year, I believe.
Whatever you say, Ken. I'm here just to stay out of the rain. That's why I'm up here.
And he's doing a good job of it. Oh yeah, that's right. It was 12 years because last year's seniors that were there were kindergarten when they beat him. Boy, that looked awful good.
Yeah, looks good. Kick is good, right through the middle.
But I'll tell you what, that's not a bad sign for Portage Northern either. Portage Central kind of had their way with the defense there for quite a while. They started back on their own 30 and drove it all the way down into the inside the 10-yard line before the Huskies finally tightened up and shut them down.
Well, a couple penalties slowed them down, and I don't know. I don't know if we should have moved him back or not, but you know what? That kick was long enough to make it from any distance, so we'll see. 3 points isn't going to win this game right now anyway.
No, it should be a big game here.
Well, we'll see what the Huskies look like on offense.
Okay, now it's going to be a Huskies' turn here, and their turn with the ball, and they're going to bring out their big guns here and see what that backfield, that Division I backfield can do. Last I heard, Joey Sorrentos just either gave a verbal commitment, I believe, to U of M.
Yeah, he did it on Thursday, and obviously it's a great university, and we certainly are excited for Joey.
And of course, Kelly is being highly recruited by a number of Division I schools, so that's kind of an exciting time around Northern. It's been a long time since we've had, well, except for the man to my right here. Of course, he's being the volleyball guru in the state of Michigan. He's put a number of players at the Division I level.
Kenny, I told you I was only going to pay you so much. You don't need to.
I'm going for a large
chocolate
chocolate here instead of the small chocolate. All right.
You've never drank chocolate in your life.
I think that the Northern's kind of waiting with some anticipation here to see what the offense is going to do with this. Of course, with this offense, it's a new offense for Pete Skirmhorn. He's running like a spread offense, and he talks like he's going to air out the ball a little bit, but I have a feeling if he could, he's going to try to keep it Kelly right and Kelly left.
In the end zone. Well, we'll start on the 20.
Good kick by Portage Central. It didn't give him a chance to return it, and of course that's what Coach Knight had said. He really would not. He wouldn't care if Baraka didn't touch the ball at all on those kickoff returns.
Well, you know, if we do put the ball in the air, when I came to the Matawan game, our ends sure dropped a lot of balls, so that's key for us too. I mean, if we're going to put it up, we better hang on to it, or it's going to be a long night, because you know, that's the only way we're going to move the ball if they're going to key on Baraka and Sorrentos.
Yep.
And I know I'd key on Baraka and Sorrentos if I was playing them.
Well, actually, I think if I was playing, I'd be running the other way. Here he
comes,
out to the
speed.
outside, and here goes. He's
go, baby, go, baby! That away, there we go. There's the big play, Kenny. There's that big play. There's a heart thumper right there, boy.
Well, I think we just opened up Portage Central's
And you know what?
eyes.
No flags. No flags. That's a good one.
That's a good sign. Boy, it's nice to have them back in the backfield there. Of course, our defense is going to get kind of tired if we keep scoring on the first play from scrimmage.
Oh, I think I can handle that. You know, I'll tell you what's interesting is we thought Portage Central showed a lot of speed in their offense around the outside, but they didn't see speed like that.
No, there has been nothing like that. Portage hasn't had anything like that in recent history. Of course, talking about Kelly Baraka, he is a returning state champ in the 100 meters for Portage Northern's all-state track team last year. They won the state, and Joey Sorrentos, of course, was a state champion in the shot put. It's down, it's up, and it looks good.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, though. We didn't give our defense a lot of rest.
No, we did not. It's going to be interesting to see if we can show it. This could be a basketball score before we're over here, Jack.
Well, you know what? I can take the threes for a 7 all the time.
Yep,
you know,
I'll trade a 3
we can
for
handle
a 7.
that.
I'll trade a 3 for a 7.
You know, if we're going to do things like that, I don't think we need to air it out either. What do you think?
No, I'd the old Woody Hayes idea where only 3 things can happen when you throw the ball and 2 of them are bad.
Yeah.
So
well,
keep giving it to your big studs in the backfield and let them run.
All I know is all the Northern parents were up there saying, "Oh, good play, Pete, good play."
Yeah, that's right. Boy, that guy can coach, can't he? Wait till the first time he calls a play that doesn't go very well.
We'll close our window.
Of course, we're talking about Pete Skirmahorn here. He's relatively newcomer on the head coaching scene. He had a successful season, or a successful stint up in Martin, I believe, and then came back to Portage Northern, where he had been an assistant for a while. And he did play ball for Western for a couple years, if I remember right. And of course, he's homegrown here in Portage. He
played football? I thought that was ultimate frisbee he was playing.
He wasn't. That was in the spring. He was an ultimate frisbee
well, he's
player.
lying to me again.
Of course,
I teach with him every day, so I never know what to believe.
He was a darn good one.
Yeah. He is a darn good one. He's a great coach. He cares a lot about the kids. You know, sometimes he cares more than they do, and that's one of the downfalls of coaching nowadays. But he's going to give it everything he has, and now it's up to the kids.
Yep.
Well, I look like we're a little fired up here now. Anyway,
does. That sure ignited him. Nice kick there. Gets it down to the 5-yard line. Portage Central drops the ball on the 5, but he picks it up, breaks it right
up the middle. Oh, good stick.
Nice stick.
Who did that?
I don't know. That's your job, Jack.
No, I don't have a job. I'm just here out of the. It's 22.
That was 21.
It's 20. 21?
It was 21.
Oh, okay. 21. That's why I play and I go to Vegas.
Dewey? Is it Joe Dewey?
I don't know, Ken. That's your job.
I know. I'm shirking my responsibility here, Jack.
It's dark in here. How do you read anything?
It's the first time I've done this, so
you had another power outage?
Oh, great. By the way, we do have some help in the booth here tonight. Heather Mogelson is in the booth with us.
She is the electrical control thing for the lights. That's her job.
Okay, here we go. Portage Central right back to what it has done before. But number 20, I think that's Burleson making the stop, coming up. And you know what, Jack? He needs a big game because he's had some. He's been kind of up and down in his performance so far this year. But he's a great athlete. Shows a lot of heart. And I think once he gets the confidence in himself, you're going to see some big things out of that young man.
Kenny, it doesn't make any difference who you're talking about out there. They all need a big game tonight against Portage Central. And Central to beat Northern's all going to need a big game. So that's one thing good. They're even teams, and as you've seen already, it's explosive.
I think these fans are going to get their money's worth here. Portage Central football here, coming right up through the middle. Well, Joey Sorrentos was in on that tackle along with, I believe it was Shearing. I think that was Steve Shearing. Oh, here we go. Here's something different. We got two wideouts on this side here for Portage Central, on the left side. And, of course, they do something different there. They,
fumble. I think there's a fumble.
Right up.
Fumble, Kenny. I don't know if they're going to give it to him. I think he might have said he was down, but
let the officials
I don't think he was down.
Yes,
yeah,
the officials are pointing to Northern. Great job by the defense. I think
62.
I think the defense really look that guy's name up, would you, Jack? You were supposed to have those memorized.
Hey, you know what?
Came up.
I'm the color guy. You know, you're supposed to be play-by-play.
Oh, I forgot. That's John Vivrowski there, I believe, and I'll tell you, John has really come on, and he's one of those young players that is going to be with this program next year also. You know, too many times we look at the backfield as being those two big studs in back there with Sorrentos and Baraka, but there are some awfully good underclassmen. This is not going to be a one-time deal for Portage Northern, I believe.
Well, JV score last night was 53-0, so
yeah,
we'll see what happens.
About that one. So here
there you go. There's
Sorrentos
up the middle.
The,
1-2 punch.
1-2 punch. We said Baraka got the first one. Here you go, Joey. Let's see what you got. I wonder if Joey's wearing his maize and blue shorts on underneath those that football uniform.
Well, all I know is I'll get Pete a play. Let's do that one again. Yeah. We'll just continue. Let Joey run up the middle, and that'll put a dagger in him.
I believe the young Sorrentos is in there now. Number 33 came in the lineup. He's replacing Burleson.
You know, right now is when the Huskies have got to get after it because the Mustangs are just wondering. I mean, all of a sudden they had a good drive, you know, shut it down with penalties and a little bit of defense, and then next thing you know, boom, we score.
Yep.
And now we're right there again.
Pete's going with his jumbo offense here. Two tight ends, two big guys in the back. Give it to Kelly right up over the middle. He's got the first down. You know, Kelly was a little tentative yet with that elbow injury he had. I think last week was a real good initiation for him, getting back into the swing of things with the Benton Harbor game. He only played about 2 quarters that week, or last week, and I believe he gained well over 100 yards in the 2 quarters that he did play. Now we're going back to the standard offense here for Portage Northern.
Well, right now we look like we're controlling the line of scrimmage, so that's a good sign.
Well, that's that confidence that you were talking about.
Here we go, on that outside.
Well,
touchdown, baby. Touchdown.
You give him the ball, and you better have somebody standing on each sideline in your defense, and forget about who's blocking whom, because if you're close to the hash marks, he's going to beat you around the outside.
What's going on right now is you got Baraka on the outside and Sorrentos up the middle. So, you know, they've got to guard. They've got to put somebody somewhere, but I think Portage Central is certainly going to try to shut down that run, and then if that happens, maybe we can throw a couple balls here just to keep them honest, but I just as soon let them run all night if they're going to do that.
Yeah, last year, you know, it was quite an interesting game there with the running game versus the passing game. I think that Portage Northern threw the ball once last year in their 51-21 victory. And when he threw it, the whole crowd yelled, "What are you doing, Pete?" Kicks up and good again. I'll tell you, if this keeps rolling like it can, this may be a nightmare for Coach Knight here, the one that he'd been thinking about, the possibility of having this kind of an explosive night for the Huskies. You can just see the confidence in these young men increase with Sorrentos and Baraka back in the backfield, especially that first play from scrimmage when Baraka went the full way. I think that they all of a sudden said, hey, you know, we can do this thing again.
Well, we are right now. We'll have to see what kind of character the Central Mustangs have. But, you know, Knight's a good coach, and he's going to do everything he can to get those guys back on track. And, you know, they're not out of it, only down by 11. And, you know, our kids, they're good front runners, so, you know, they got to keep playing high and, you know, and keep attacking as much as they can right now, because if they sit back and think it's over with, then they're not going to be happy at the end.
No, and one touchdown, one big break right here on the kickoff. You know, they've come last couple kickoffs that we've given them, they've come pretty close to having a big return there. So we got to tighten up that a little bit and again, keep the pressure on. Our defense has still been on the field a whole lot longer than our offense, but the score sure doesn't show up, 14-3 here. And the crowd is just really ignited with those two drives. They're all saying, hey, this is what we've come to see.
Oh, little squib. I
think that Portage Northern was thinking that this was the NFL, and he wasn't down until somebody jumped on him there. That's a good way to get a yellow flag in this game. Well, Jack, this isn't real bad field position for the Bob Knight
No,
team.
I think I would have kicked it a little deeper and, you know, let them drive the length of the field again and hope we can shut them down. But it's only about 55 yards is all they got to maneuver here, so we'll see what happens. I mean, obviously, if they would have pulled it off, it would have been a dagger, but now we're going to have to eat it up here.
Here we are with Portage Central, the two wideouts, the split backs. Formation that Bob likes to run the veer out of all the time. Quarterback runs down the line, then keeps the ball over the right side, over the right tackle. He picked up a few there, maybe 3 or 4. I'm impressed with this little quarterback they got, this shooter. He's a gutsy kid, stepping in there for, you know, they had all those expectations with Cubitt, and then when he left, everybody was kind of wondering how that was going to work. But you know what they've done is that they've gone back to the old style that Bob Knight used to coach.
He feels very comfortable with this kid, and you know, it'd be interesting if we can get one more score if he's going to have to go the air, and it might change the whole complexity of their game plan, and which what we'd like to do.
Yeah, and the defense, we're noticing it just looks, Jack, that this defense is picking up a little bit because of the excitement that the offense has generated. So,
well, you know, like I said, Kenny, I came to the Mattawan game, and even taking a look along the sidelines there, I mean, those kids are all up in the game. We're in the Mattawan game; they're all sitting on the bench and their heads down. And I mean, this was early, so I mean, they're ready to play. I mean, it doesn't make any difference how tough the game is; they're going to be in there on both sides, actually, right now.
Of course, Portage Northern is Coach Skirmorn broke out new jerseys here tonight. First pass of the game, and Joey Paul Sorrentos is right there to break it up. No, it was. Is that number 33 or 23? I'm sorry, my mistake. Number 23, and he's the mystery man tonight.
Yeah, you're right. That's Baraka's number, but maybe he thought if he changed the number, they wouldn't key on him so much. What do you think?
It could be.
I think all they had to do is see the kid run a little bit, and they figured out who he was. Timeout.
Oh, is that Baraka with number 23?
Oh, actually, it's the end of the first quarter, Ken.
Well, it's been a rather exciting first quarter here. We thought this could be a long, hard-fought evening here with the first drive from Portage Central marching right down the field, stalling at about the 7-yard line, and then them putting through a field goal or punching through a field goal. But then the Northern offense took the field for the first time, and sparks flew.
Well, we've already had a couple highlights. I mean, you know, it's going to be on the highlight reels, obviously, with Baraka both times, and Sorrentos had a nice run up the middle too to set it up. So the offense is clicking, and so far the defense is hunkering down here. So hopefully we can continue this.
It's pretty interesting. I wonder what Coach Knight is talking to the officials about over there. I wonder if he's got a concern or a problem, or if he's just wondering if this weather's going to hold off.
Well, I think he said a few choice words because he just got a yellow flag.
Oh, he got a yellow flag.
Got a yellow flag.
That's kind of uncharacteristic for Knight.
Well, he may want to be firing those kids up a little bit too. I mean, Bob's pretty intelligent. He's pretty calculated. He knows what he's doing.
I've known a couple other coaches that have been doing things like that in the past. I remember seeing this volleyball coach, Portage Northern, get a little hot once in a while just to get the kids fired up.
Not at officials. At their parents, but not at officials. Although that's not the time to get one of those, I don't think, Ken. No. I mean, you know, they've got to get a drive going here.
And it is now 4th down and 25. Maybe he figured it was 4th and long. There's nothing to lose.
Well, whatever it is, he made his point. I'm not sure what he was upset about, but we should have
back the punt. I'm sorry.
Well, that's okay. We should have good field position.
Go ahead. Oh, Baraka fields it, and he stays in bounds.
Whoa!
He did step out of bounds. That could have been really exciting.
Well, I tell you what, Kenny, you just watch the defensive people on that, and they just are frozen when Kelly gets the ball. You see that they're just not sure if they want to commit. They're not going hard at him, and if you don't go hard at him, you know, and make him make a move early, he's going to eat you up.
Yeah, you definitely can't let him control the play when he's got the ball.
There's no doubt that Kelly Baraka is good. His dad told me that. You know, he told me to say that a couple times.
And because I don't think he's committed yet to Division I, so it's kind of like a PR thing. We're trying to get as many Division I schools out here as we can. But
does that mean K College is out of the question?
I do believe so.
Okay.
Here we go with one split end here, or a wide out, not a split end, 2 tight ends, giving it to Sorrentos up front. You know, that's kind of a change
Nope, flag. Got a flag. That's not a good sign.
No, it's not.
Looks like holding, I think, Ken.
Yeah, he's pointing towards the brown and white there. You know, that is a little bit of a change from Skirmahorn's game plan early on in the year. If you remember right, against Matawan in the first couple games, he had 2 split ends plus a flanker out there, and he called it a spread offense. And now they're going back to more what they did last year with the 2 tight ends. And, of course, that could be because of the personnel that was out of the lineup early on, too.
Yeah, he had, you know, not only did he have kids hurt, he had kids who missed practice during the summer that he had to, you know, make sure they understood what this was all about. You know, it's not necessarily winning, it's lessons. And, you know, he had some kids who were paying a few prices there. You know, now most of those kids are all back, so hopefully they can put something together as a unit and start playing at the level that they anticipated at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, and it's certainly with the 6-game win rule that they have for the playoffs, that's definitely not out of the picture for these young men, especially if they make the statement here, because Portage Central just defeated Niles and St. Joe. I believe Portage Central is undefeated in the conference so far. If I remember right, I could be mistaken on that. Here we go again with the wide out to the left or to the right. Handing it to Sorrentos right up the middle again. He picked up about 4 of those 5 that he got penalized on. You know, that is the one thing that about Coach Skirmahorn is that he commands a lot of respect from his kids just because of his integrity. He's not going to tell you one thing and then do something else. And plus, winning isn't the major role here or major goal for him. It is a goal, but he's also building character out here. And here goes Baraka up over the right side, off tackle that time. He didn't try to get outside. He just ran it off tackle and picked up about 6-8 yards.
Well, it's a big play here. We need to get about what? We got 5 yards, 6 yards?
Looks, well, I don't know, Jack. You got your glasses on there.
I have a half on.
7 yards. Well, actually, it looks
Kevin
a little bit more
says
like
7
4.
yards. Kevin Hahn, who's our guest in the. Can you say go Huskies?
Go Huskies!
All right.
Okay, that ought to get us 7 yards.
So it's 3rd and about 5 here. He's got the spread offense going. He gives it to Baraka right up the middle.
There he goes. He's on the outside. There he goes, baby.
He gets it to
come
the
on,
outside.
Come on, little juker. All right, nice play.
He faked to the inside like that, juked the guy, and picked up maybe 5 more yards because of it.
Way to go, Kev. What do you got? You got it.
Boy, I'll tell you what, that guy is exciting because I thought they had him shut down. I thought that it was going to be close to a first down.
Wow,
but
there's no doubt the Central kids are real leery. Real leery has speed right now.
Coach Knight over there has got to be thinking, what can we do to stop those two, that dynamic duo? Because if you play the outside real heavy, Sorrentos right up the middle is going to pick up 5, 6 at a time. And who knows, we may even shock the world and throw the ball once in a while. Okay, we got a timeout called, I believe, because Burleson ran out thinking that he'd been substituted for, I believe, and that gave the Huskies 1 too few men on the field here. So we got a timeout, Portage Northern here. This is going to give Coach Bob Knight time, going to give Coach Knight a time here to maybe rally the troops. I'll tell you, working with the man, one thing I've always admired about him was his ability to motivate his kids. They always seem to get up for big games.
Well, you admire everybody, Ken, so those really make a difference.
I admire especially Jack Moggelson.
Yeah, well,
how we doing? Do we have,
should.
Is that 5 yet or not? I'm about ready for that hot chocolate. My #1 fan's up here in the booth with me tonight.
He's got his whole family
Kevin
up here.
Hahn.
You know, they don't let him out of his sight.
They wanted to see my debut. I'm telling you.
Well, Kevin said he came to watch the band, you know, and I'm just trying to
He
get
does.
him
He
interested
loves the
in the game
band.
here.
He does love the band. But I asked him tonight about that, and he said, I said, boy, Kev, you gonna play in the band? He said, no, I'm gonna play football, throw the ball and knock everybody down. So that sounds like a good idea.
Now Pete's got a few words with the official here. Just to even it out a little bit, just make sure that he's, you know, I do the same thing if I was him.
Yep.
Hey, go, Huskies!
Well, now we got the two guys up front giving it to Joey, who breaks it around the outside, and it's not going to take just one guy to take him down.
Gang tackle. Do you have a program there, Kenny? Is the Central kids, I mean, what about size-wise? I mean, are they the same size as our kids?
You know, they've got a couple guys. It looks like they match up a little bit, but boy, I'll tell you, they've got a couple guys at 280 pounds. They got a couple guys at 250, a couple guys at 260.
Yeah, but are they playing, or are they on the sidelines?
I mean, you asked me if they had size. I'm telling you, they got size. Now, whether they're on the field or the sidelines, that's up to you to figure.
Our band's got size too, but it doesn't help us a whole lot.
Okay, they give it off to. I think that was Baraka right up the middle. I didn't see. I was distracted for some reason by my cohort, Jack Mogelson. But they got the Sorrentoses in there on offense, and usually when they do that, I think they were just giving Baraka a little bit of a rest there. They put the young Sorrentos, Paul up at the fullback, and then they dropped Joey back at the tailback spot.
You know, Kenny, I'm for giving Baraka no rest.
Yeah.
Let's play him all the time. His dad told me he likes that too.
Keep him going. Let him touch the ball 40 times this game.
Oh, look at this.
Oh, Sorrentos right up the middle. He got tripped up in there by number 25 from Portage Central. Who's Bailey.
Good tackle by Bailey. Went down low, and that's how you're going to get him, because Joey's going to run you right over if you try to go high on him.
It's one of the strongest kids that have come through this Portage Northern program. And I'll tell you what, they're getting stronger, too, with I got to mention Coach Lang's power training classes and his program that he's put together has really, I think, benefited all Portage Northern athletic teams. Here we are again in the I formation, one wide out. Handed off to Baraka. He jukes out to the outside. Really tripped up over by his own man who was laid out there. More than
35 got him in the backfield. He was hanging on to him. Who is that?
That's Andy Hodem.
Well, that was a good play by him.
And he hoed him right around the ankles until he fell.
Hold him down.
Okay.
Kenny, anybody else you want a brown nose? Or you got Lang in there, and me, and
well, of course, there's the Lascaritas brothers.
Yeah.
I got to tell them, or they'll beat me up. Those
That's
guys
right.
are pretty tough.
The mob will come and get you.
Okay, we're in the I formation here. Two tight ends, hand it back to Baraka. How unusual is that for Portage Northern? He gets up over close to first down, not with the mark they got, though. They're back there about the 15-yard line now.
Well, you could tell on that play there was no holes there, because Kelly kind of waited and waited and he didn't see anything, which I'm very impressed, because obviously he's looking for those holes, and once he sees one, he's gone. But
he has sure matured into a full-time or a big-time running back. Remember the first game he played, as a sophomore, he started on varsity, but it was at a quarterback. And they moved him as a tailback last year, and it took him a game or two to get the feel of running, getting the ball 5 yards, 7 yards deep in the backfield, and then looking for a hole.
Yeah, I remember when you said he was never going to cut it as a football player.
Yeah, right. Okay, I didn't want this job anyway, Magelson. Okay, we got the first down on that little quarterback sneak there, and the quarterback, Mike Slater, is a junior. He's one of the underclassmen that you're going to be seeing for a while, because all the coaches are pretty high on his throwing arm. Yeah, I know it's kind of a joke when you got Sorrentos and Baraka back in the backfield. You're not going to see him much, but they really do like the way he puts the ball in the air.
It's a big drive here, Kenny. We've got to punch this one in. Hopefully we can do that here.
About 6.5 minutes.
Oh.
Man, he's just, with Kelly, it's like one step. He always seems like he's one step away from breaking a big one here. So he's just fun to watch that way. And he's still there. Picked up a couple here. So it's about 2nd and 8 down inside the 15-yard line.
Kenny, you've been watching the same game I have. I've seen him break them away. What do you mean one step?
Well,
I mean, he's been gone several times here. One step.
He was able to get that one step a couple times.
Okay. Well, we need that one right here. I think we only one pass so far this whole game. That was by Portage Central, I think.
Yes, it was. They're running Kelly a little differently now, too, if you notice. They're running him more between the tackles. They're not pitching it to him on the outside. And I have a feeling that's Pete Skirmahorn. What he's doing is trying to pull those defensive ends in a little bit and those outside linebackers and corners in. And
I'm sure it's Pete. I don't think the kids call the play, unless they're taking over from what I don't realize. But if I was them, I think I'd go along that right side right now and put Baraka's speed against anything they have out there.
But
that's why I'm up here with you, and the flunkies are up here,
boy,
and the
you know
people that
what?
know what's going on are down there.
And some of us are wishing more and more that that wasn't the case, Jack.
Well, when it stops raining, I'll
Here we
go
go, I formation. Yeah,
Oh,
we give
there he's
pitch.
there. Touchdown. Touchdown, baby.
He saw the crease. He saw the crease open up, and it was over. He doesn't need much, boy. You give him a little bit of daylight, and he's certainly going to make something happen, which is what they were missing.
He had that one step, huh, Ken?
He had at least one step on that, Jack.
I'm just trying to make sure I get this right.
Well, this certainly turned into a different ball game here. It's 5 minutes left to go in the second quarter, and the Huskies are up 20-3.
Yeah, I didn't really expect this. I really didn't. I mean, I knew we were capable, but I didn't know what type of team the Mustangs are. Right now, the Mustangs are just on their heels. The speed is certainly got them confused.
I think that the halftime for Central can't come too early because I think Coach Knight's going to take him back in the locker room and regroup them and kind of bolster their confidence a little bit more. But I'll tell you, I don't know if confidence is just the only thing that's going to do it for Portage Central. I'll tell you, Jack, this is a different team we're watching here tonight.
Well, it sure is from the ones I've watched so far.
Unbelievable.
We actually look like we want, but we're good front runners, you know. I mean, it's important that when we come out in that second half, we play like it's a new game. Because if we don't, you know, they sit back on their heels and they start doubting themselves. Because right now, there's no doubt in their minds that they're going to win this game. But, you know, it doesn't take much. And the Mustangs are going to come out and do a little bit different game plan. However, you know, it takes a long time to drive that ball up and down the field. And, you know, they're about 3 touchdowns behind here to win it. And that's going to take some time to do.
Yeah, they don't. That's one thing that they are lacking with last year when they had Cubitt in there at quarterback. They did have the deep threat. Of course, they had an outstanding wide receiver last year also who was all conference, if I remember right. And between the two, they could score some points in a short period of time. And they did last year in that game. I mean, Portage Central is not the type of team that rolls over for you. It doesn't matter what the score is, especially in a game such as this.
You know, and plus, we've got to hope that the weather doesn't get worse and it starts pouring down rain or something, because that's going to slow Brock down on the outside, and you know that's going to make it a little bit tougher for us too.
Boy, and you know, you look at
well, we've been going with the squib kicks
kind of a squib kick, and
this one's going back.
It did not work well at all. Get up over the 50-yard line, and Pete did have a little concern with his special teams play, because even last week against Benton Harbor, the big plays that Benton Harbor scored were on the special teams. They ran a couple of them back for touchdowns, I believe, and so he was saying that he's got to do something a little bit different.
It's not working.
It's not. He's going to have to find something else different.
I mean, playing pretty short field here right now.
Sure are. We're giving Portage Central every opportunity to get back into this ball game.
Yeah, 5 minutes to go in the quarter and a half. They've got plenty of time.
And there are quite a number of Portage Northern players playing both ways, so it's going to be...
Whoa, fumble. I think. No?
That was a fumble on the play, and looks to me like that's some of our best offense.
We've got Bud Breed back here.
Come here a minute, Bud.
Breed's in here. I mean, he's been here. God, he's older than dirt.
I tell you, he built the tradition of Northern football around here. Bud, how you doing?
What do you see going on right there right now, Bud?
What do you see going on?
No, well, that's good, Bud. I know you're retired and you're riding horses, but in the game, you've been watching the game? Okay, tell me what do you see the difference between the two teams right now?
We're in the brown.
Well, I think that Northern's got the great speed on going inside and outside, and they got them held down to pretty much nothing out there. Portage Central right now.
Now you'd probably throw it, wouldn't you?
Just like Portage Northern does.
Just like
they go
deep, right now. That's what he does.
Deep to Deshaun.
That's exactly what I've done right there.
And it looks to me like he's going to score.
Just got done saying that, and see.
God, no one.
Bud Breed.
You are so smart.
He comes in and calls
Bud Breed called the play. Did you send that down to Skirmahorn before even?
Thanks a bunch, Bud.
Hey, Bud. Bud Breed, just one of the greatest people on earth right there, I'll tell you.
He is, he'd give you the shirt off his back.
We'd probably even give you hot chocolate, wouldn't he?
He might if I
asked.
asked.
Kind of pump in a few things in there.
But I'll tell you what, that man is, he played ball at Western, and then he did a stint or two in the NFL, and then came back to Portage Northern and put together quite a football tradition for the years that he was here. If I remember right, they won the conference like 7 years in a row.
Kenny, that's called back. What the heck happened? Did I miss here? They're calling that back. And it's coming back big.
What are we doing here?
I don't even see
Jack?
a flag out there.
I didn't see a
pick it up?
flag either.
That was Breed's fault.
What? 5 yards. It couldn't have been a big one.
Well, I'm not sure what they announced. I don't know if it was an ineligible receiver downfield, I think. I think they said ineligible receiver
Ineligible
downfield.
receiver downfield, but that was a pretty quick pass.
Yeah,
to
I
get
didn't even
anybody
think we had
downfield
linemen
there.
that fast that could run that far.
Well, yeah, not that quick anyway.
Well, that's a shame because that was a coffin right there.
Yeah, but you know
boy.
what?
That was a nail. That was a nail in the coffin there.
Yeah, we were just told there by our expert statistician that it was an illegal receiver downfield.
See?
And I'll tell you what it did do, though.
Here's
we
another
got
flag.
another flag.
Probably
He's going
too
to
much
hit us
time.
with a delay of game here.
Well,
When
we're
it
a little
rains, it pours
disorganized
here.
right now here, aren't we? We'll have to get Breed back here and see if we can score again.
Yep, delay of game here. You know what that did do, though? Whether it scored or not, that certainly told them that we were willing to open it up and throw it downfield.
Well, I gave him something else to look for, which is what we needed to do. But
This
doesn't help right now. We got
No.
a couple penalties in a row, and you know we had some real momentum going here. And
Well, I know what I'd do. I'd give it to Braca. Okay, we got an offset eye here. Sorrentos. Oh, the young Sorrentos. We got Sorrentos and Sorrentos in the backfield here. Now,
come on, baby, come on,
now
come
Joey.
on, baby. Oh,
Now
hey,
Joey was
first down,
showing
I
some of
think.
his speed.
First down.
I'll tell you what, there's
That's
a
a big
load.
play.
And
That's a big play.
And he's a load, too. He's a lot quicker than what you think. And he goes about 6'5" and right around 230 pounds or so. And he's just a big kid.
He's a load.
He is a load.
Yeah,
Did you say that? Or
you said that.
Oh. Well, whoever said it, it's true. He is a load, and he just showed another weapon that Portage Northern has coming around the left side. Jack, we may never do this again.
Only when it rains am I coming up here. Hey, we'll do this again. They couldn't find anybody but us now.
I know it. They were begging us today during
I mean, the
lunch.
other choice was Kevin. Isn't that right, Kev?
Yep, it is right. I didn't.
Spoken like a true Husky. They're having to measure this one. It doesn't look. It looks like he's short by about half foot there.
Well, hopefully it's Kevin's foot because
Yeah.
it'd be about a couple inches.
I'll tell you what. You put
Go ahead.
Sorrentos. I was trying to, but I was swallowing the hot chocolate that I had to get somebody else to buy me. But you put Sorrentos and Sorrentos back there in the backfield, and that puts a whole new look in there. That's a little different, and they're not going to juke you or outrun you. They just kind of run through you there. Now we're back to the standard offense here with Slater at quarterback, Joey Sorrentos fullback, Kelly Barak at tailback, and out there at flanker is Mike Burleson. Two of those four are underclassmen. Two tight ends, handing it off to Baraka. Nothing doing. He got the first down. He did get the first down. But I'll tell you, Jack, I'm impressed with the play of that offensive line because that's who got that first down.
Well, right now, like I said earlier, you know, we seem to be controlling the line of scrimmage, both offensive and defensively. And if we do that, it's going to be a long night for the Mustangs, and which wouldn't break my heart.
No, it's you know, it's kind of it's just exciting around Portage Northern, you know, and some people talk about this rivalry going back, and we haven't won too many of these games. But you look at the other sports programs that we have at Portage Northern, and we've really enjoyed some success in all other arenas. It's just that the Portage or the football team has just had some hard times here.
Well, it's still a long ways to go. It's not over with yet, but it's always good to win those away games.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Every game we win's an away game.
Oh, my fault. This is a home game. On their field, but it's a home game. My fault.
Now, if
I
any
was
administration is listening to this, that's Jack talking. That's not me. Okay, we line up in the
Well,
this is the
all the Portage
Sorrentos
Central parents are
backfield
sitting
here.
on our side. That's why I'm trying to
We have
wonder
the
what's going
Sorrentos
on.
backfield here, Jack. Sorrentos and Sorrentos. They must be trying to give Kelly Baraka a little bit of a breather here.
Well,
And he does play both ways, offense and defense. We've got about 3.5 left to go in this first half. And I'm thinking that Pete's feeling pretty comfortable right about now.
I'd feel a little comfortable right now. I know that. I mean, but it's still a long ways to go. Still a
It
long
is.
ways to go. But right now, his kids are playing air-free football, pretty much. which is usually one of the problems for
Okay,
us.
we got more of the spread offense that he was running earlier in the year. But with both Sorrentoses in the
Going up in the
backfield,
air.
he's going to air it out here a little bit. He hits
that's
Burleson
fast.
over the center.
Well, I tell you, we're wide open all over out there. He could have threw it to any of them. You know,
He has got Portage Central coming up so fast on the corners that if we can keep the quarterback protected here a little bit, he's going to have a little bit of fun with some passing statistics here today.
Well, I hope not. I hope he throws about maybe 6 or 7 on the rest of the runs. But,
Yeah, they're
just
exciting.
enough to keep on us, because right now, I mean, everything is working. So hey, let's go with it.
Okay, we're back to the first backfield there with Baraka and Sorrentos. It's an offset eye to the left, split to the right, gives it to Sorrentos up the middle. And Joey got stood up there a little bit. He had to hurdle one guy, and that kind of took the power out of his legs. And I believe that was Chard that came up and made the stop for
Yeah,
Portage
55 did it was a nice tackle.
Central. And he did. He put his helmet right in there. And
Another
another
penalty.
penalty on Portage Northern here. I didn't see anybody jumping, but it had to be because the officials called it.
Not necessarily.
That's
But yeah,
spoken
we'll
like
go
a
with
true
that.
coach.
We'll go with that.
Boy, I'll tell you, I was a little concerned today when I looked at the Weather Channel and saw the Doppler radar and that big line of blue, green, and yellows coming across Lake Michigan from Wisconsin. It looked like this was going to be a real washout, and that would have put a whole new complexion on this football game.
So you understand that Doppler stuff, huh?
No, I heard somebody told me that when I was correcting some papers.
Oh.
There's Baraka, and that time there was great penetration by
34.
Portage Central, number 34, Hoopengardner. Jared Hoopengardner got some deep penetration there through the line and tripped Kelly up in the backfield. He did get a couple on that one, but it definitely stopped that play.
Well, timeout Huskies, and you got about 2:20 left in the half, and you know, maybe we can get some points out of this drive.
Yeah, they need to punch one more across here, I think, and just to make a statement. It is kind of an interesting halftime show because I believe both bands are going to be performing today, if I remember right. We got the what does Pete call his son out there? The water boy? I forget what he's got a special name for that young man, and you should see him with his son. His son looks up at him like he's
Tall.
Like he's tall. He is tall, Jack.
Yeah, well, here we go.
All right, we're in the I formation. We got two wideouts and a slot man over there. So this is his spread offense that he likes to do. And I have a feeling he's just going to pitch it to Kelly Brock on the one side. No, he's going to throw it out, a screen pass to Sorrentos, overthrew it. We did have some blockers out there, but you know what? I think even if he would have caught that might have been broken up there by some of the PC guys. They were hustling there. Number 32 was right there, Putnick from Portage Central.
Well, I think the pass would have got there a little bit quicker, Kenny. Everything was kind of set up for that to go. It was a good try. It was a good try.
Well, we're down
gives them something else to look for.
Now, I'll tell you too, we got a couple guys that can kick the ball here, get some distance on it. Their accuracy is a little bit inconsistent. Yeah, one of them is a soccer player, and more and more football teams are going to that. You know, it's kind of a good marriage if you have that. He's back to pass now. Slater hits. Almost had a one-handed grab over the middle. As Deshaun Young there, he can get up in the air. He's one of Coach Pete's basketball players in the wintertime, and he can get up in the air. He has made some excellent catches. He's just a little inconsistent on being able to pull that ball down, but I'll tell you what, the threat always seems to be there. That was your cue to say something, Jack.
Well, it's Portage Central's ball. No, that was 4th down.
I thought that was 3rd down, but
No.
I guess
I didn't want to
misread.
make you feel bad, so I didn't want to tell you.
And I appreciate that. You've never wanted to make me feel bad.
penalty.
More flags. And usually when they go off before the ball snap like that, it's on the offense, but we will see.
So us not kicking the ball, you think we just didn't think that was going to make that one, or too far, or what?
May have been. That would have been a hefty field goal there. It
What
looked like
happened to
that
all
would have
those
been
good
well
kickers
over.
you were talking about?
I don't know. You know, I was talking to Pete, and he tells me one thing, and then he said, "Now I want you up in the booth so that when you say something, I can do something different and make you look like you don't know what you're doing."
The wind is right in the face, so I mean, it might have been a real, and it's blowing pretty hard out there right now. So it's probably maybe it might have been a little bit beyond what he wanted to do.
And in the last few series, Portage Central has not been able to move the ball.
A pass completed, 84.
And Burleson comes up and does make the tackle, but not until the guy picked up about 8 yards on that.
It's a pretty big end right there.
Who's that? Vanden over from Portage Central, number 88. Was that who that was?
84.
84. Well, then that wasn't him. It was Broxma. It looks like we're going to see a little bit of the night passing game here.
Well, he hasn't got time to drive it down all the way, so
No,
he's going to
he
have to
rolls
get it
out
up
to
in
the
air.
left. Throws the ball. Just a little too much heat on that thing, I think, because it did go in and out of the arms there of number 32, Putnick. I think it...
He should have caught that ball.
Yeah, he could have caught that.
Plain
He brought that
simple.
down. And
He needed to catch that ball to get the kids going.
and Joey Sorrentos was coming down on the quarterback, kind of rushing him there a little bit. Guy could have picked up a much-needed first down for the Mustangs there if he would have caught that. I didn't see too many guys over there.
Puts him in a key third down position again.
Got a minute 30 left in this half. And Portage Central, again, is spreading out the defense a little bit, but they do have 2 tight ends in this one. Split backs. Oh, I thought the guard jumped again. Yep, jump on the right side of the offensive line there. Looked like this guard over on this side. I think they're just getting a little anxious. And that's really uncharacteristic of Bobby Knight's team. They're usually a real discipline. I think that they're just getting antsy because they're down by so much in a game that has been built up to mean so much to these kids.
Well, every game means a lot to Bob Knight's kids.
Yeah.
So I mean, and knowing Bob as well as I do, it's every game is important.
And he, this Portage Central team has had some great games against some awfully good competition. Forest Hill Central came down, and that was a real close ball game. And then Grandville was a real close ball game.
He's got to make a tackle here.
Yeah, that quarterback there, Shooter is just scrambling around back there, running for his life, trying to get the first down. But Portage Northern was able to fill, and they're going to come up about 3 yards short of the first down.
We had a good rush on him that time. He got away from it, and then the backs filled in.
Now we got a timeout by Portage Northern. I believe that is their last one for Portage Northern. And they put John Lascaritas in there to talk to his defense. And John Lascaritas is talking to Coach Skirmerhorn on the sideline to see what he wants him to tell his defense. Well, you know, in the past, the crowd tends to thin out a little bit after the second or into the second half when the game's been decided, but I have a feeling they're going to be here right up to the end on this one because everybody
not on this game. They don't go on this game. They, both sides know each other. The kids from each school know each other, and a lot of times if they have a chance to, do things and meet and share their new experiences, especially the freshmen. They're here most of the game. Unless it starts raining, then you may see a mass exodus. But actually, we got a great crowd. What do you think, Kenny? About
it goes all the way around
4,000 or 5,000?
All the way around the sidelines. I lost count at 339.40, Jack.
Oh, well, most of them, it looks kind of like your classroom.
It does. Okay, there's the snap. Number 15 to punt. Little low, back to Baraka. He fields it at about the 35. He's picking his way forward, looking for some place to go. And he was trying to make something happen out of nothing on that one. He may have been better off just to get it and go.
Yeah, a lot of indecision that time.
He was hoping to score big, I believe, and he did that a couple times in last year's game, and I fully expect him to do that again. So Portage Northern's offense back on the field here. One last time, 54 seconds left to go in the half.
Well, I think, I don't think we're going to go big here. I think we're just pretty happy with where we are right now, and we just don't want to make an error. Probably take it into the locker room and come back out for the second half.
Okay, we got, or we're
wrong.
going to throw the ball.
Or we're just, And we almost made the big mistake.
That was close to being a big mistake because there was nobody on the right side, and he could have gone for a long way.
And plus, you know, we want that clock to run down just so that we don't give them a good field position or a block punt or anything else. So
I think Coach Pete's looking around asking who called that play. That's one of those plays, Jack, where if it would have hooked up and he would have gone, we would have said, what a great call that was, Pete. Okay, here we go with the I formation. Now we're back to just one wide out, 2 tight ends, and he's going back to what gets him going. He's got the, boy, he runs hard. When he sees a hole or an opening, he gets up in there and he just goes.
I'm impressed. He's really throwing. He's really going hard. When he sees a hole, he really goes hard.
Doesn't look too tentative about that elbow, does he? He's not too concerned about that. Of course, he wanted to get back in there the next week, but the doctors told him it might be good to take a week or 2 off to get him fully healed.
Well, if you are tentative, you're not going to play like you need to play today.
Oh, nice play in there by number 34 for Portage Central here, Jared Hoopengardner, and he came from the inside, and no one picked him up, and he was able to tackle Kelly back there behind the line of scrimmage. So
looks like Central's content. Now they're going to call a timeout. At first I thought they might be content to let it just run out, but
8 seconds left. They got 2 timeouts left. No, they should only have 1 timeout left because they called a timeout earlier in this game, if I remember right. Back in the first quarter when the quarterback to kick the field goal saw that they didn't have enough guys in the field, so they've only got 1 timeout left.
Well, the Mustangs could certainly use a big play here, and the Huskies need to make sure that they put it away and not make an error here.
8 seconds left. It's going to be interesting to see what Coach Skirmahorn does on this.
Because we don't want to give the Mustangs anything to go in the locker room and be excited about, that's for sure. And our kids, they have to finish it out. I mean, there's still, what, 8 seconds left of an intelligent ball they got to play.
Yeah, it certainly would be a shame if they play 2 quarters of good ball and then have a mental lapse for 8 seconds and let them back into the game there, because that would give them a big boost if they came up to, 10 to 21 doesn't sound like an insurmountable lead.
Well, even 21 to 3, 3 touchdowns in high school is not that much.
It is going to be tough for Portage Central to score that much because they really haven't put that many points on the board with this offense. It's kind of a grind them out type of an offense, and they're coming after it. No, he got it away. That was Sorrentos. He kind of does it all, and he's got the outside. Ooh, nice hit in there by the younger Sorrentos. That's Paul, and he put a nice stick on that guy, and number 22, Josh Firth.
Well, I was a little concerned because you could see the Huskies running down the field and not filling those lanes in. They're all
Jack,
kind of
I may have to go to the bathroom here real quick. They just fired that cannon, I'll tell you what. Man, they got to tell us before they do something like that. That must be a new addition to this field because I don't remember ever having a cannon go off like that. But that got the old heart going.
Oh, I know. I figured I was a goner there. I thought their parents were coming after me.
Okay, we got... and here we are, starting the second half here in about 30 seconds. Portage Central's on the field. We're waiting for the Huskies to come out, and here they come. Well, that was an outstanding first half if you're a Portage Northern fan, and that was kind of somewhat of a subduing first half if you're a Portage Central fan. You're hoping that some sort of a spark catches these Mustangs on fire, and if you're Pete Skirmahorn and the Huskies, you're saying, hey, we got them right where we want them, guys. Let's keep pouring the coals to this thing and get it out of reach here real quick.
Well, we'll see what kind of halftime presentation each coach gave, I mean, I think we're going to find out right away in the first 4 or 5 minutes of the third quarter which team is really still hungry for it and which ones thinks that maybe it's over with or they already have it. So Central's going to have to just pick up their intensity, and they can't make errors, and the Huskies have to continue to play the way they played the first half.
Yeah, and the one nice thing, if you're Skirmerhorn setting your team up for the second half, the one nice thing that you have to build on is that, hey, you're going to get the ball first thing second half to start the half out, because we kicked off there the first half, and that'll allow the offense maybe to spark the defense one more time here and get them going, because really throughout the year, the weak spot for the Northern Huskies has been the defense. In the past, they've just tried to it seemed like they just tried to outscore their opponent. So even with the victories that they have had, they have not kept their opponent from scoring less than a handful of points there.
Well, I don't think the third quarter has actually been real good for the Huskies this year so far. I mean, I know that even I keep bringing up the Mattawan game, but we came out at after half, and Mattawan just stuck it right to us again, and then that just, you could tell by looking at the Huskies on the bench that it was over with, and that's what we have to do to the Mustangs tonight. I mean, that first drive is important. If we can stick that in the end zone, then then the gut check on the other side.
Yep, they know that it's the real thing here. They know that first half or second half is just going to be a continuation of the first half, and we definitely can't come out thinking that it's two separate football, or can't let them come out thinking that it's two separate football games, and they're going to win the second half and put up a few more points than we do.
I'm sure Knights address that, I mean, I'm sure if I was at it, I'd be saying, they think they have us where they want us, and, we just have to pick up our intensity and get on the board. Because I think he feels once they can put the Huskies on their heels, then it's a different ballgame. And because right now we're on our toes and we're driving forward, and even at the line of scrimmage and the backs, and they've, that's got to continue, or Portage Central's got to stop that one way or the other. That's going to make a difference in the game.
And I'll tell you, if there's anybody in the Big 8 that can do that, it's Bob Knight. He has a way of firing up his kids, and they usually come out ready to play. One interesting side note here on this is that this year will be the last, whoever's champion this year in the conference will be the last Big 8 conference champion in football ever, because next year, we move to that new conference where there's going to be 16 teams involved in the conference and 3 divisions. So that kind of puts another ups the ante just a little bit as far as pride goes.
Well, I know they're talking about a West Division, Central Division, and East Division, but I started looking at those schools, and you could probably have a blue and gold division. I mean, there's like 5 or 6 schools all in blue and gold. So, I'm sure in the future here, the Huskies are going to get a little tired of seeing that blue and gold all the time.
Yeah, because in the Central Division next year, it's the 2 Kalamazoo schools, the 2 Portage schools, Mattawan and Battle Creek Central. So we pick up Mattawan, who is also blue and gold. Battle Creek Central, of course, is blue and gold. And then you got the 2 Kalamazoo schools, and then Portage Northern, who's not blue and gold.
Well, and Niles is blue and gold, and St. Joe's blue and gold. So even in the conference, we just have a lot of schools that.
And of course, all of this really matters when it comes down to this football game, Jack.
Well, there's the kickoff.
And I think Kelly lets it roll out of bounds. He's over there to field it, and that's going to be a penalty. Of course, we all know that the kickoff has to stay in bounds. It can go into the end zone, but once it rolls out of bounds with nobody touching it, that does constitute a penalty.
So it looks like we're going to start about, 35-yard line?
Yeah, I think they give you the option of a re-kicker starting at the 35-yard line, but I can't be 100% sure on that one. Of course, tonight is the off-the-wall game of the week, or wall-to-wall, off the wall.
This is not your class, okay?
We're off the wall here on Wall to Wall. And this may be my first and last time I ever do this. Okay, we're starting right back here with 2 tight ends in the I formation, a wide out onto the right or left side, and they give it to Sorrentos right up the middle, and there is nothing. And I'll tell you what, if this is shades of things to come in the second half, it's going to be a little tougher ball game than what Portage Northern thought it would.
Yeah, they got 2-yard loss on that one.
And how often do you... Well, apparently that wasn't Joey Sorrentos. That was Paul Sorrentos. That was the younger brother of Joey Sorrentos that ran that ball. Now we're back to the I formation. We got Deshaun Young out here as a wide out on the left side. And they give it to Brock off tackle. And there is nothing there. boy, this Portage Central team is doing the job of gumming up the inside here. We'll just have to see how long it takes before, or if Kelly can get to the outside again and show his speed. If they keep, key to stopping a good fast player is not let him get started there.
Well, like I said, right now, Portage Central's controlling the line of scrimmage the start of the second half. And so, you know, the key to this game, I mean, we always talk about Baraka and Sorrentos and stuff, but our line has to do the job, because in the past, that's where we've hurt a little bit in some of these games that we struggle with, and they've got to dominate.
And Jack, you mentioned before the third quarter seems to be kind of a problem. Oh man, a sack for Portage Central. That's not good for the Huskies here. But this is kind of like shades of the past here, when we always seem to have a little tough time coming out in that third quarter and getting the ball rolling here.
Well, we're heading in the wrong direction, and right now we're giving the Portage Central Mustangs a little bit of confidence here.
And that's one thing you don't want to do with a Bob Knight team is give them confidence. Well, we got Sorrentos back to punt.
I just hope we didn't do a lot of celebrating in the locker room in the halftime.
Yeah, if they're thinking that the game has been won. Oh, a high snap. Joey just barely gets it off. Takes a good northern roll here, past a 35, and it's going to be down there with, you know, that's probably the best news of the evening here so far, is that there was no return on that kick, because they have been dissecting our special teams here with their returns. Dissecting, you know, Jack, that's one of those terms I use from my biology class and stuff. That means when you cut something apart and that.
You're so impressive, Ken.
I know. Jack knows volleyball. You just got to help him out here a little bit with biology. Okay, we got Portage Central here with the ball. They got two wideouts, split backs. Be interesting to see what the Mustangs do, if they come right out here and open it up, or if they go right back to the veer and see if they can establish some ball control first. He runs down the line with his option.
Oh, nice play.
Burleson.
Oh, fumble.
Burleson makes the initial hit. Portage Central coughs up the ball, and Burleson gets up and jumps on it, and I'll tell you, that may be what Portage Northern needs.
We needed that. We just dissected that ball right out of him, didn't we, Kenny?
Yeah, we did. Shooter was going down the line. He saw that nothing was there on the option for him. He pitched it back to the halfback, and Burleson came up. That was one of the better plays that I've seen Burleson do, as far as how he worked on that, how he handled that cornerback situation out there.
Well, hopefully we'll kind of spread this out here a little bit, because you know, I think we tested their line, and
we don't want
kind of dug in.
We don't want to test their line too much more here. But they are so tight up there, and Pete Skirmorn said if they get 8 guys in the box, what he calls it, right there at the line of scrimmage, he is going to throw that ball.
Here we go,
and
outside.
It looks like he might cut the corner. Oh, he was collared down by a Portage Central guy, number 32.
Good pursuit on their part. It was a really gang effort on that one. They had about 8 guys over there.
And Putnick was the tackler, and he just grabbed Kelly Baraka by the jersey and was able to haul him down. Well, the old legs of the Huskies aren't looking...
you know, that wasn't a great play, but we still got 2 yards on that play, you know. And at least we're going forward now.
Yeah.
I mean, the first drive, we went backward every play.
Okay, Slater's readjusting the offense. Deshaun Young went to the wrong side. Now he's got him over on the right side. He's got a slot out there with Burleson. I formation. He hands it back. It looks like a reverse. And Portage Central, classic Bob Knight team.
83 did a great play. He held his ground, kept his lane. Wasn't
Travis Rich is the Portage Central player that stayed at home. He wasn't sucked in by the fake, the roll out there to the right side. He stayed at home and broke that thing up. That's what we were talking about there as far as the Portage Central discipline. You don't get guys doing things that they're not supposed to be doing out there. Okay, Portage Northern's in their spread offense now with 3 wideouts. He's back to pass. Slater's back to pass. He sees nothing. He throws it to the end zone for Deshaun Young.
He's open.
He's open, and it's a touchdown.
Big time touchdown there. Boy, we needed that one bad, Kenny. Needed that one bad.
That was a statement there. You know, you shut us down running, we will throw the ball. And it's kind of been a joke with some of the other coaches in the league and some of the faculty members around schools. Why would you throw the ball with Baraka and Sorrentos? Well, I think Coach Skirmahorn showed why you throw the ball there. That was an excellent play. Everybody was up front. They were looking for Baraka or Sorrentos to get the ball on that. And I'll tell you, Slater, for a young quarterback, hung right in there. The pocket was kind of collapsing around him, and he put that ball up, and it was right on the money.
Oh, there was a classic mismatch. Oh, bad snap.
Oh, well, this is not the NFL, folks. If your knees are on the ground, you are down. You don't have to touch the guy.
Yeah, but it's a Northern Central game. A good lick here and there always is good.
Yeah,
anyway,
gets the crowd fired up.
Kenny, there was a big mismatch on that play. I mean, you got Deshaun Young at actually 6'2", and then their back, their defensive back, I think was Jason Barley, I think, and he's 5'6". So I mean, there's 6 inches,
and not only that,
8 inches up there given away,
and he can get up in the air
and
too.
he jumps. So
he can get up in the air.
you know, it's open. It's just as Deshaun can hang on to it and bring it in.
And I think the more they throw that to him, the better he'll get with that. And that may be if the opportunity presents itself where Northern is in the playoffs, which we're all hoping. And if they keep playing the way they are, that's definitely a possibility. They're going to need a passing game. You're not going to be able to go make it very far in the state playoffs there if you're just one-dimensional.
Well, you know, I think we got good backs and receivers are capable, but I mean, that line's going to have to be the key. I mean, you know, we have to have kids in there who really battle all the time. When they're up or when they're down, they've got to battle because that's the key. Because, you know, Baraka and Sorrentos aren't going to run anywhere without good blocking up in front of them.
Yeah, and that's one thing about being an offensive lineman, too. You know, you don't get much of the glory there. And if you're an offensive back and you're not getting the ball, you carry out a fake and maybe you block once in a while. But offensive linemen, like you said, Jack, you're on every play. And if you miss your block once, that could be a problem.
You know, and that's the grunt work. It's got to be done.
Another
Nice kick.
squib-type kick back to the 10-yard line, fielded by number 25, Bailey. And that time, I think Portage Northern had a little bit better, did a better job of covering him. He got up to about the 25-yard line, 27-yard line.
That was a little deeper kick, too. You know, he just got a little bit more of it and worked out well.
Boy, so far, you know, we've been talking about this Portage Northern defense as possibly being an area of weakness with on the Huskies team, but they have really shown that they can hang in there with a solid offense.
Well, a lot of these guys are going both ways, so you got about the same players.
Oh, nice pass. It's caught, but only for about 5 yards there. Shooter rolls to his left, and I didn't see who it was that caught that for Portage Central. Did you happen to catch his number?
No, but it was a good play by Shooter. He had 2 Huskies right in his face, and as soon as he threw it, he was nailed. So
that was Hoopengardner that was out in the flats there, and he dumped it off out there for could have been a 5-yard, 6-yard loss, and he turned it into a 5-yard gain. So that shows a lot of poise by that quarterback there. Shooter, he's a senior. Okay, they got 2 wideouts, Portage Central, and split backs, classic veer formation that Bob likes to run. There's that trap up the middle that has kind of been their bread and butter play. You run the veer and you run the option, and then you do a little reverse pivot and you run that trap play up there with your fullback. And that has hurt us in the past and for a long time. And if you were at the JV game last night, it really it is quite a weapon because you're worried so much about the outside, and then they trap you up the middle, and that went for big gains in that JV game last night.
it takes a long time to score, though, Ken. They're down by 24. You know, they just can't take 7 or 8 minutes and grind out a drive here. I mean, they've got to get on the board and get on the board and get on the board just to get back in the game.
Looks like they fed the big man going up the middle there on the veer, and they do get the first down. They do get the first down. You know, that's one thing that Bob Knight has to feel good about is that this varsity team has been in every ball game that they've played. Forest Hill Central, Grandville, those were like 1-touchdown games, maybe even just a couple points here and there. And plus their JVs are very solid. And he was saying how he was really excited for that team coming up next year. So.
Yeah, I hear they have a great quarterback.
Okay, they're running the option over to the right side, and they shut that down pretty well. Portage Northern strung it out, so the quarterback really couldn't make a decision. They didn't really attack him and force him to pitch the ball, but he had to hesitate 2 or 3 times, and that allowed the rest of the defense to catch up to him.
Well, as good as Joey is, he missed that tackle right there. That could have, had no gain, and they ended up getting about 3 yards on that.
Right now, Joey's talking to their defensive coordinator, John Lascaritas, probably trying to get a little insight here as to maybe some of the adjustments that they made at halftime. There he drops back for a quick pass in the flats there. And Portage or Northern covered it up pretty quick after the reception, but still that enabled them to pick up another first down. But like you said, Jack, this is working their way down the field.
They're nickel and diamond, but they're, I think Bob wants to, he's got to get those kids so that if they score, hopes to change the whole momentum of the game.
A lot of their big plays in the past have been run plays too.
But it's taken them 2 minutes, Kenny, so far, and they've only gone 20 yards. So, it's going to be tough to win a ball game if you continue to do that.
Coach Skirmahorn's got to feel good about right now with half of the third quarter gone, and scores 27-3. Now the shooter, looking over the line, he may be changing the play off there a little bit because of the alignment of the defense. He's going to hit a quick fade out here to number 84. Overthrew him just for about 1 step. That's
he was open.
Braxma.
Braxma was open.
I'll tell you, you want to talk about a little bit of a height differential there, too. That guy is 6'6" for Portage Central, Braxma, and he was going out there against Burleson, I believe, number 20 for Portage Northern. He's right in there at about 5'10", so you're talking about 8 inches, I think, if my math's right. You might want to check that. Let's see, 5'10", 5'11",
15-20, you got it. Central's kind of going to the air here a little bit. Let's see what happens.
Oh, there's that little trap play up front, and I'll tell you, you got to stay at home if you're a backside lineman here. You can't pursue because that's where they come back with that little counter trap. And
big play here, big decision on Bob Knight's part here. 4th down and 2.
3rd down.
Oh, 3rd down?
Yeah, well, no. The referees say 3rd down. The scoreboard says 4th down. Oh, they changed it. Okay.
Okay. This is not such a big play.
I have a feeling they're going to run right at him with that option again. Right down the line, handed off to their fullback, and that fullback was stopped at the line by Joey Sorrentos, but then he spun off and picked up a couple more for the first down. That was too bad. If Joey could, or Peter Paul Mary, one of those singing groups from the 60s, but if he could have just hung on there in the backfield, that would have really put them in a hole and then brought up that big decision like you were talking about before. But once again, they don't have to make that decision.
Well, the Central backs right now are running real hard, Kenny.
There's that little tight end dump that is kind of their bread and butter. And, boy, I'll tell you what, Joey Sorrento showed a little speed on that one coming from the backside. I think he just saved him 6. Then another defensive cornerback, I didn't catch the number. But that's that little option to the tight end dump that, boy, that has hurt us so often in the past because they lull you to sleep. They run the option, run the option, run the option. And then the quarterback just pulls the ball and dumps it off to the tight end.
Yeah, it was a nice play, but we also missed a tackle there, too, which cost us about 15 yards. So, we're going to have to tackle. This game's far from being over.
Okay, again, we're running it. He dumps it off to the first guy coming back a little bit, and he picks up some hard yardage. They're down in a tough area now. They're in the red zone, and they got 2nd down and about 8, so they picked up a tough couple of yards there. But this is what we talked about, Jack, as far as a Portage Central team. They are not going to roll over and play dead because there's a lot of pride on the line out here. Jack.
I'm watching the game, Kenny. Okay. It's a pretty good game.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I'm a color guy. You keep talking. I'm not even sure you're breathing anymore.
Boy, I thought somebody on the left side jumped a little quick. There's a fumble, but he recovered his own fumble there. That was a real good catch by Portage Central's number 84. That's Braxma again. I'll tell you, it looks like he's the guy they go to on their passing routes here.
I think they figure there's a pretty good mismatch there right now, and it's going to be tough to keep them out of the end zone right here. Then it's a gut check for the Huskies to see what they're going to do.
Well, they did it the first quarter. They were able to suck it up, but they did kind of shoot themselves in the foot. Portage Central did when they had a couple penalties down here when they were knocking on the door in the first
So
quarter.
what do we got going on here right now, Kenny? They're over there.
They got a measurement here. They're going to measure and see if they got a first down. And
looks like they had a kink in the chain or something. Must have been one of your kids you had in class a long time ago.
Could have been.
By dissecting the chain.
Looks like they're just short of the first down. I don't know if that's good or bad, Jack, because that gives them one more try to get the, and then it'll be, I don't know what I was saying.
I don't know, it's good or bad. I think
it
it's
could be good or bad.
Well, the problem you have, Kenny, is the first guy I ever worked with has never watched the monitor. I mean,
Well,
why do we have this monitor here?
You know, what's really interesting
You
on
missed
that,
every
Jack, is
replay.
I'm the first guy you've worked with, period.
That's true. And he's going to be the last, but that's all right.
But there is, I just noticed,
yeah.
I noticed that they have this TV next to me, and the same football game is going on this TV.
And it's brighter even.
It is, and they're closer up. So
we have wonderful camera guys.
you keep an eye on that.
I'm going to watch the TV. You watch the game.
Okay, we got about 3 minutes left. Again, like you said, this is a gut check for Portage Central.
Score, touchdown.
Yep, quarterback
Shooter.
just rode the fullback up in the line and then followed him. It looked, nope, he did hand the ball off the fullback there. Yep, and that's number 32, I believe, Putnick. But there again, that was simply a touchdown by the offensive line of Portage Central. They knocked the defensive line back on their heels, and I think they were too busy trying to figure out what the...
Well, really, the Mustangs just kind of threw a pretty balanced attack at the Huskies there. They ran a little bit, you know, they passed a little bit, and, you know...
Unlike that first series where they
absolutely.
just came down and ran, I think that this is really...
it might be the key for them.
They're going for two. Again, gives it to the fullback.
Oh, he didn't make it.
No going that time.
Didn't make it. That's a key
so
play.
The Portage Northern Huskies stiffened up there and showed that, hey, you know, we're just not going to give it to you. If you're going to take some points, you're going to have to fight for them. So that was a good play by the for the Huskies there, both morally and physically.
I don't know if it's starting to sprinkle out there or not, Ken. I see a few people putting little rain things on here.
I think if as long as we don't get a deluge, and that means a lot of rain,
Oh,
Jack,
a deluge.
and that goes right along with dissecting. But
It's
if
kind of
we,
like a monsoon.
yeah, and as long as we don't get a bunch of rain, I think we'll be okay here. But even now, I think that we're at the point in the game where if it gets really sloppy out there, both teams are going to have a hard time scoring the big play. So
That's the advantage of the Huskies right now when you have a
sure is.
lead that they have, 16 points. Or whoops, let's try that again, 18 points. Kevin, you gave me the wrong information here.
I thought it was 16 too, if that's any
Wow.
good. You know,
I guess I thought
27-9.
Yeah.
But Huskies are back there to receive the kickoff here again, and
would have been 16 if they got that extra point, 2-point extra point.
is that?
Yeah.
That's right. If you got an 18-point lead and they
You
do
get 2
get a
points for that.
2-point conversion, then that does cut the lead to 16. So I'm really glad that we got that straightened out.
But anyway, I was watching the baton twirler, so I didn't
Okay,
know.
here we go. The kickoff, it's a high kickoff, deep. It's over to Baraka. He fields it at about the 5. This time, he's not picking his way through. He's just running upfield, getting his shoulders north and south more, and he gets it up over the 25-yard line. I think that that last drive for the Huskies also opened things up a little bit. So I don't think Portage Central is going to be able to stand in there and, as Pete Skirmahorn said, put 8 men in the box, which means 8 men near or on the line of scrimmage there. They got to have some people back to.
So Kenny, what's the box mean anyway? I mean, you keep saying in the box.
If you,
I mean,
it's the terminology we
like
use.
a popcorn box out there.
It's the terminology that we use in football.
Okay,
and,
well,
and
explain it to the people that have no clue what the box is, like
the
me.
more you hang around this sport,
Is
you'll
that like
pick it up.
end to
Here's
end or tackle to
Sorrento's
tackle?
over around the right side. Boy, there, I'll tell you, look at the pile of Portage. Look at the pile of Portage Central,
kids, huh?
Portage Central players. They are flowing to the ball.
Well, right now the Central kids have a little bit of hop to their step, and so actually the Huskies are still, they're still on their toes. So it's a far cry from being momentum change, but it's pretty even right now.
They got about second and about 6 yards to go for a first down here, and on about the 29-yard line. Slater under center, and they got Sorrentos and Brock in the backfield. They got number 81 out here on the outside now as a wide out here. That's Jeff Kornick. Braca picks up a hard couple. I'll tell you, this is really good for Kelly and Joey both to get back in there after the injuries and play a full 4 quarters. This is going to give them more confidence in their game too. They're in the I formation, and wide out here's Burleson, Braca and Sorrentos in the backfield. Slater hands it to Sorrentos. Big hole up front.
First down, I think.
Big hole up front. That was one of the best jobs that the kids have done on the front line there as far as opening something up for Sorrentos to run through there. That was a real good...
That's a big first down, Kenny, because it's going to kind of get us into the fourth quarter. You know, it's going to allow them to run out that last minute and 50 or so and get us right into that fourth quarter. So I think, you know, that's what we need to do is just ball control right now.
And that's kind of a hard thing to do with Barack in the backfield, is have ball control, because you never know when you give it to him. He could break it loose, but I guess that's good ball control too.
Yeah, well, anytime you score, that's good ball control.
Here we are in the I formation. He goes back, little draw play to Baraka. He picks up about 6. And it's good for Kelly to be running like that, having to run those hard yards up through the middle here, because he's not going to be, when he goes to school next year, he's going to be running a lot of that stuff between the tackles and that. He's going to be playing with guys with good speed at that level. So it's good for him to have to tough out a few yards here and there.
Well, the key right now, like I said, is just keep ball control, keep grinding it out, run that clock down. I mean, I'm sure the kids want to score as many points as they can, but you know, right now we got enough to win, and that's the important thing.
Yeah, win by 1 or a win by 20, it doesn't matter. It's still a W. Here we go, wide out to the left. He hands it to Sorrentos. Sorrentos is really struggling in there for a few yards, and you could just see him. Everybody was down around his waist, and you could see Joey towering over most of them, but they had him bottled up pretty good. He picked up a couple of yards.
We got about 3rd and 3?
I'd say about 3rd and 3.
I think that's going to run us right out of this quarter, though.
I don't know. He might hold off because I think it's a smart move. Well, it's a smart move. You know, get the wind behind their back, and it just runs the clock out. And that's the end of the 3rd quarter, and here we are at 27 for the Huskies and 9 for Portage Central.
So that was kind of a wash. I mean, what did we go? We get 6 and they got 6, and other than the momentum was probably pretty equal there, but we can take that in the 4th quarter too.
Yeah, you know, I'll trade them even up from this point on in the game and walk away with this with a victory here.
But to credit the Central kids, they came out to battle the second half.
Yes,
I mean,
they
it's
did.
I think the first half they had their aspirations, and then the speed kind of took over and kind of set them on their heels. But right now they're in there scrapping again. So this game's still a long ways from over. I think the Northern Huskies have to just make sure they don't make any critical mistakes, fumbles, penalties, stupid plays right now to give anything to Central to get them back in the game.
Yeah, because you can just tell that Portage Central's confidence in their defense has increased here in the 3rd quarter as opposed to what it was in the first half when the first time Northern touched the ball, the first play from scrimmage went for about, seems to me, about 70 yards for a touchdown there.
Well, you know, it takes a while. You all of a sudden you play against teams that you see, and then all of a sudden you run up against Baraka, who has that just much quicker foot speed and much quicker moves. It just takes a while to adjust to that, just mentally.
Yeah, because he is probably by far the quickest thing they'll come up against. Although Kalamazoo Central, if I remember right, has a pretty quick back, and Kalamazoo Central is doing real well on the gridiron this year so far. So that'll be a good test for the Huskies also. Okay, lined up with white out on left side, 2 tight ends. Offset eye, he had Sorrentos. Looks. Boy, I thought for a minute there he had a seam. I thought he had a crease, and I thought he was going. But I give credit to Portage Central. Their pursuit was real good there.
Well, I was real impressed with that run because he was certainly trying to use his blockers. You know, I mean, he wasn't just running down the field. He used both of them, and he got himself a first down, and that's what he was looking for.
You know what I think we're seeing too here, Jack, is that with the number of guys that have been out for so long and not played a full game, especially the guys that are going both ways. They're probably feeling their wind a little bit here. You know, they're not quite in the shape that they were when they were healthy and before their injury. Oh, Portage Portage Northern jumped, and I think the referee is cautioning the Portage Central man after the jump. He definitely made it known that that there was going to be an offsides call there, or an illegal procedure call there.
Well, it gave the guy an opportunity for a cheap shot. I mean, you know, hey.
That's why we call it football.
Yeah.
It is starting to come down here a little bit, the drizzle, and the crowd is starting to pull out their umbrellas, but nobody seems to be leaving, and that's kind of a good sign. Although I believe that the students, if it gets any more than this, there is a dance after the game tonight, and so they have a tendency to be in a hurry to get over there. And they hand off to Brock inside the tackles there.
Oh,
I think we may have a
hold.
And it looks to me like Joey Sorrentos is down. We've got a couple flags, but Joey's down on the field right now, Sorrentos. And they got a number of Huskies out there coming around. Trainers running out in the field. But we do have a number of flags down. And they didn't all come out at the same time. So this is going to be an interesting mess to sort out. They've got the committee meeting over there with the officials here to see what happened first. And
Sorrentos is up.
looks like he's limping a little bit. Doesn't look like his shoulder. Blocking below the waist. Declined. So we had somebody crack back probably on a defensive back there, and you have to make your initial contact downfield and that above the waist. You can't come that.
Was that the only penalty on that play?
Apparently.
I mean, the other flag was about 12 seconds afterwards,
Oh,
you know?
we got a holding. Also.
Oh.
End.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Now, how do you get hitting below the waist on the defense? That's kind of an interesting call. I'll have to check into that, but I didn't know you could do that unless it was just a...
Well, you can't grab a hold of somebody, I think. I think that, you know, it might involve Sorrentos laying on the ground down there. I think
they could have. Somebody may have come back on him as a defensive player. I didn't see that.
That's kind of where the referee was looking at that I saw.
That was one of those times when it'd be nice to have a replay just to be able to sort that out, because the flag was definitely away from the action there. So
well, we can have anything we want, Ken. Just, you know.
Okay, I'll call down but they're not doing it, Jack. Well, here we go. We got now we got the little Sorrentos, who's every bit as big as Big Brother there, and Brock in the backfield. Slater back to pass. He's got some people open. He hits Burleson over the middle.
Go, baby.
Portage Central man slips and falls.
Baby. Get in there. All right.
And touchdown.
Big play. No flags. No flags. All right.
Clean.
Oh, flag. Well, we got two flags. We got personal foul on somebody. It's either us or them, because they were both in there drawing to each other. Yeah, I think it's going to be against us, but hopefully it's after the play.
The good news on that is it did happen after the
yeah, but we don't need that kind of stuff.
No,
that's not what we're about.
It's been a great game so far.
Not what we're about.
And there's no reason for that. But I'll tell you what, that was an awfully well-thrown ball by Slater. He hung in the pocket and hit Burleson over the middle, and then a Portage Central defender slipped in this wet turf, and that enabled Burleson to head into the end zone. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah,
how
it was a touchdown.
The touchdown counts. And then the personal foul is going to be tacked on afterwards.
But see, that's not what we're about. And that's the thing that irritates me sometimes, is these kids start, getting to the point where they think they can win, and then they open up their mouth and start shooting off, and that's not what Husky athletics is about.
It definitely puts a damper on some of the spirit here, and I have a feeling he'll be talked to a little bit by Coach Skirmerhorn, because he's not a real advocate of that sort of behavior either. So I don't think he'll put up with that. And we'll see how they react to this. Now,
well, put it plain and simple, Kenny. It's low class and no class. I mean, that's the way it is. And we just, you can't have that. I mean, what happens if that would have cost us a touchdown there? If it would have been happened
a little
before?
Bit sooner. That's true.
And they don't think.
That's a discipline type thing. You've got to maintain your composure no matter what's happening.
We've got to do that for another 10 minutes too. We can't let that lead our way down the field that way.
The personal foul is tacked on for the extra point, so this is going to be an interesting extra point. This is a 35-yard extra point attempt here. The snap is up, it's down, it's over his head, it's blocked.
That was just plain ugly,
that
Ken.
was ugly. Do you have anything else you wanted to say about unsportsmanlike conduct, Jack?
It just drives me crazy. I just there's no excuse for it. And the problem is that they do it, and they continue to do it, and it just costs you.
I think that a lot of times it's the old thing that, man, count to 10 before you say anything, and your action should always speak louder than your words. And if you're going to beat them, you know, between the whistles and
Okay, Ken, that's enough. That's good.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I mean, 3 of those in a row. You
had
close
me-
the book over there and just keep
you
on
had
going.
me motivated here, Jack, and you know, you're so inspiring to all of us around around Northern.
It's just, you know, it's funny because I went to the girls' basketball game against Kalamazoo Central. I had to leave at halftime because of the poor sportsmanship that was going on up in the stands with
Oh, is that
parents
right?
and
That's too bad.
kids being huffy with each other, and it's not what it's about.
And
you know,
that
play
was-
the game, and if you play good plays, hey, let it go. You don't need to
And that's
tell
what
anybody
the fans
about it.
want to see anyway is good play. And well, Huskies are getting ready to kick off here, and the rain is coming down now. I'm seeing a lot of umbrellas out there in the stadium here. And it's a squibber again, and that might give him a little problem, but he fielded pretty quick.
That's a
Number
good bounce right
44
to him.
for PC, Schofield. And
Oh,
he's still on
away.
his feet.
There he
And
goes.
he's gone.
Look at that. Didn't take long.
Nobody's going to catch him. Boy, I thought he was bottled up. I looked down to see who he was, who number 44 was, and when I looked up, he pops out of the pile and he's gone.
Well, Kenny, you know, that's what happens sometimes when you think the game's over with. You know, I mean, there was some really poor tackling right there.
Yep, they thought that Portage Central was just basically going to give it up, and they don't do that. Now it's, boy, I'll tell you what, Jack, it's a much closer ball game.
Well, unfortunately, I mean, you take a look at the last couple minutes here. You start out with an ugly personal nonsense foul. We have a missed handle on a long field goal attempt, which is an extra point attempt now because of that. And then we get out there after a great drive and a great score, and we just let them go down the field with poor tackling. So, you know, that's a shame, but we've got to get a little bit more consistent here if we're going to be a good team.
And they do have that potential because we have seen it in some of the special teams, but you're right, the consistency factor is definitely, its ugly head is looming over the top of the Huskies here. So we'll see if Skirmahorn's team can suck this thing up and get back on track here. Scores right now 33-15. We got 10:30 left. This is a ball game here. They're going for 2. They're up in the veer, a wide out to the right. He steps back. He's throwing the fade to the outside. Oh. Ooh, the guy was open. Boy, I'll tell you what, that was trouble.
Yeah.
That was trouble all the way.
Well, they're just not used to that passing game. So, I mean, it's anytime we force them to pass, it's to our advantage. But, you know, unfortunately, we've got to get it back going here in the right direction.
But I'll tell you what, that was a fortunate play for us because that keeps us up by 18. So they're going to have to get in the end zone a few times here. They're just not going to be able to do it with 2 touchdowns and two-point conversions.
Well,
now.
if they do it that easy as they just did, they can do it. I mean,
there's a lot
our
of
kids
time
have to
left.
realize that if we could have just had them use about 6 or 7 minutes to make a drive there, the game was over.
I think Coach Skirmahorn's out there talking to them right now about that very thing here. He's probably telling them that, hey, this game has got 10 more minutes left, and we got to play 10 more minutes just like it was the beginning of the whole ball game here because they're not out of the woods, and this could turn into a real barn burner here if Huskies aren't careful, and we don't want to see that. We'd like to see a real good, comfortable lead and make a statement that, hey, last year was not a fluke. Some of the kids were talking about that. You know, last year was not a fluke. It was for real, and we wanted to prove that.
Well, it's kind of hard to have a fluke when you score 50-some points, you know,
Yeah.
and that's it's the same thing with the JV game last night. It's not a fluke when you score 50 points against somebody. You're definitely outplayed them. And right now, we've outplayed the Mustangs, but we've had some moments here that we just, you know, haven't looked real sharp.
And if it had been closer, those moments could
Whoa.
have been very, very. Don't even get around it because it's got to go 10 yards before it's a live ball, guys. That could have been a little bit of an error there. You want to make sure that ball.
I mean, Kenny, that looked like one your wife could kick. Holy moly.
No, you haven't seen her kick, boy. She can
that's
put
true.
it through the uprights from 50 yards and stuff. So, but anyway, I think that they were going for. I think they were going for an onside. There's no doubt about that. But I think the old kicker just lifted his head like I do in my on my 3-wood. That's a golf.
Not
joke.
only your 3-wood, you do it in everything. I've played with you before.
Hey, wait a minute. Well, it looks like Portage Northern's going to get real good field position here, Jack. If you know they're across the 50, they're almost to the 40-yard line here for the Mustangs. And
Kenny, if we can hang on the ball here for about 5 minutes, it's going to put us in really good shape.
as we said before, turnovers are going to play a big role in this game, or they have in the past. And the ball, I would imagine, is starting to get a little bit more and more slippery there.
Yeah. If we can, we just need that ball control and force Portage Central to use their timeout. So at the end of the ball game, if it does get a little bit tighter, you know, they're just going to have to fight that clock.
And right there's what we want to do. We got 4 yards there. That's always a good thing. You always want to try and get 4 yards on your first down. And you can see that the rain's coming down here pretty good. That thing's starting to get slippery out there, so I imagine there isn't going to be much more pass. We give it to the big horse up front.
He's still going.
Joey
Nice play.
Sorrentos. He's up over almost to the 30-yard line. I believe that's going to be a first down, Jack. First down at the 31.
You know, Kenny, there's still an awful lot of people still in the stands here, so you know, nobody thinks this baby's over with yet.
They love to see the end of this game. It's going to be interesting to see how sturdy those goalposts are, Jack.
Now, the kids in the stand aren't that strong, Ken. It's kind of amazing, though, that last year we win and all of a sudden they become neutral colors, so I thought that was quite amazing.
They give it to Sorrentos. He was tripped up in there by number 30 for Portage Central. He did a great job. Dimmick did a great job of just getting an arm on Joey Sorrentos's ankle there and tripped him up there. That could have been a big game because there wasn't a whole lot in front of him after that. Well, Paul Sorrentos coming out now, and so it's Sorrentos and Brock in the backfield. We did see a little lightning off in the side there. I hope the officials pitch out to Baraka. He cuts back across the grain, and he does turn his shoulders north and south.
You got something out of nothing there, Ken.
He did. That was a real good run for him.
Yeah, but the only thing that's going to stop this game right now is lightning, so.
I don't know what I'm not sure what the ruling is on that, Jack. How much of the game has to be completed for it to be a complete game?
Well, we'd have to sit around for a while, I'm afraid.
See if it blows over.
You know, I couldn't stand being here with you that long, so I'm hoping it doesn't go that way.
You know, I really believe that's one of the nicest things you've said about me.
I know. Well, I'm kind of afraid the cannon's going to go off again, and you know.
Okay, they bring in some fresh legs in the backfield there with the younger Sorrentos. I think
you've got all those sports things down, fresh legs and gridiron, and I mean, oh my God, you did some serious reading up on this before you did, didn't you?
I taped Monday Night Football for the last 3 weeks, and I play it over about 3 times a night, and I've actually taken notes.
Yeah, but you did the Dennis Miller one. You know, he did the wrong guy.
Well, you know, what's wrong with Dennis Miller?
Well, he's fine, but he's not play-by-play. You're supposed to be play-by-play. That's why you don't watch the monitor, probably, because Dennis Miller, he's just, you know, he's looking at the cheerleaders.
Speaking of cheerleaders, our cheerleaders have put plastic, changing the subject quick. We can see that everybody's dressing here.
They're hanging tough, aren't they?
We are. And I'm impressed with the crowd here. We had a couple kids come over from the other side trying to stir something up, but I think they were corralled pretty quick. I think this is going to turn into a
Well, I knew they were hurting because they came over with body paint and the rain was going. It was all washing, so you know, it wasn't exactly the time to do it.
They were streaking, but not in the manner that we know. Well, Huskies took that time out. Must have had some sort of a mix-up here, or...
Now we got 8 minutes to go.
33-15. You got to be wondering what Pete's telling these guys. You know, tell them settle down, just keep grinding it out. You're doing good things, and just keep doing what you're doing.
That's one of the good things. We can always ask him tomorrow.
We could ask him tomorrow, but you know he won't remember.
Yeah.
If you talk to him today. 2 tight ends, I formation. Paul Sorrentos in the backfield, and definitely got some penetration there. Baraka got the ball carrier, or was the ball carrier there, and but Portage Central definitely had some good penetration through the line that time and shut that thing down.
Yeah.
Now we're back into a 4th and 2. This is.
Well, we're going to have a good snap to the setter. I mean, the setter. Yeah. Well, where am I? Good snap to the kicker here because.
Now, see, if that guy name was O'Reilly, that would be an Irish setter, Jack.
Yep.
And we saw some of that at halftime. But hey, they're not punting. They're going for it, you know, and they're going to just try
That
and
might
keep
be
them
the
down
best
here.
move because, you know, there's nothing but
Alright.
bad could happen there. Boy,
He
that was
throws
quite a
the
move
ball.
there. Oh, nobody there.
He definitely got rid of the ball, and Coach Knight isn't real happy with that. I think he's asking for an intentional grounding call.
Either that or I think he thought he might have been over the line of scrimmage.
But Slater, for a young quarterback, did a great job of keeping his head and not taking the sack and throwing the ball downfield into an open area. So I think that Pete's got to be able to have some good feelings about what's coming up here as far as some of their underclassmen.
Well, right now I think he's just concentrating on shutting this drive down. I mean, that's the key to this game
Yeah.
right now because we can't give them that one play score like we did last time.
Yep, this is definitely an important drive here. If they score quick, boy, we could be. We just had another flash of lightning here, and I'm hoping that that's off in the distance, and it's pretty far north of us. And according to the weather, of course, that's that Doppler radar that I was checking out earlier today. It was supposed to go just north of us, so I think we're going to keep playing here. Portage Central's in their split back, 2 wideouts. Quarterback pulls up, fires
same
to the
play
tight end.
same play they
fumble on the ball, fumble on the play
Northern's
too.
ball.
And
I think
it
it's
looks
Huskies
like
ball.
Northern's
Northern's ball,
They're
boy.
pointing our way, boy. I'll tell you that
That's
was
a great
huge
break for us.
play, huge
Great
play
break.
for Portage Northern. But that's that little dump pass to that tight end, and I'll
And
tell
he's
you.
a big kid too, you know. I mean, whoa, there's a big lightning, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, either that or they fired the cannon off
Yeah.
again. But I'm hoping
They
I
did.
think
You gotta
the
check your
officials. Yeah, that's right.
I was going to ask you to do that a little earlier.
I went
but,
out and
you know,
changed at halftime after they fired that cannon off.
the only
but,
thing about lightning, though, is I mean, they say, well, it's far away. Well, it's not that far away.
No,
I mean,
and you
lightning
gotta-
can go a long ways.
and you got to play it safe on something like that. So it'll be interesting to see what develops there.
Speaking of lightning, I would like to score real fast and right here.
We got Paul Sorrentos at fullback, Kelly Brock at tailback, Slater up under center. We got Burleson out at split. They hand Baraka up over the middle. And I think they are just trying to grind something out here. There's about 2-3 yards.
Well, that's all they need. We have enough points to win. So, you know, we just got to get rid of that time. I got somebody hurt on the play there or what?
Just a little slow getting up, I think. Number 88 there for Portage Northern was just a little slow getting up. That's Ahmad Zeiter. And looks like we've got...
Well, they got lightning in the area, so it looks
Yep.
like they've suspended the
officials
game.
are suspending the game at this time. We don't know. We'll have to check for you to see just how long of a break they take, or if enough of the game has been played to call it a game.
You know, if we have to come back after a while, that's not good for us. I
Not
mean,
at
right?
all, because we've got the momentum, we've got the confidence, and we got the ball, and we're plugging away at it. And this just gives Portage Central one more opportunity.
Looks
to,
like the Mustangs are going into the locker room. And I'm not sure what that means.
I'm not sure either. No, I don't think that's the game. I think that they suspend the game. I think that they're going to give us a little bit of a breather here. I have no idea what's going on at this time. I know that 2 years ago, was it 2 years ago over in Battle Creek, they had something like this happen, and they didn't finish the game until after midnight.
Yeah, well, I hope they announce it before everybody leaves. I mean,
Well, no, it's
right
it's
now, no
okay.
one knows if the game's on or not.
They've already paid to get in, so
Oh.
whether they
Well,
stay
maybe
or
we can
not
charge
is-
them again.
And Coach Knight is out there right now talking to the officials.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he or Coach Skirmahorn want to see this thing suspended for any length of time. He's just telling the officials, hey, it's north of us. We're going to go inside, but listen, let's make this thing as quick as possible. But
Well,
know,
the
I didn't-
officials are still out there, so obviously they haven't called it because they're the first ones gone.
you know, it's been kind of the lightning has been out there, but it hasn't really been anything. I mean, you can
Oop.
see it.
Okay, the ruling is you have to wait 15 minutes between lightning strikes.
15 minutes between lightning strikes.
So I hope they have someone that's counting.
How do they know if lightning struck.
Well, all I know is we're up higher than everybody else.
And we're in a metal box.
Yeah.
And we're hanging on to an electric microphone.
So if after 15 minutes, Kenny, if there's no lightning, then the game will resume. So I think we're going to kind of be off the air here a little bit, Ken, until they figure this thing out. And, you know,
Got
for the
15
Huskies,
minutes?
yeah, for the Huskies'
You know
sake,
what?
I hope it's over with, but I'd like to see it go full bore.
And for the most part, it's going to be interesting to see how many of the students come back for the end of this, or how many are going to go to the dance, because this has there's such tradition here to rush out onto the field after a victory.
That's good,
and
Ken,
we're
it's black.
done.
Well, Ken, it's been a while, but we just got back.
Yeah, it's been kind of an interesting development here at this Portage Northern Portage Central football game. As you can see, the Portage Northern Huskies are back on the field after about, what, an hour?
Oh, at least. You know, we had some wonderful fireworks why the delay was going on here.
Nature provided the first fireworks. They had to suspend the game, and then we provided our own fireworks here.
And the
for
Mustangs are starting to come out over there, so maybe it looks like we might get this
We
finished.
might get this thing going here. As long as the referees keep their eyes shut so that they don't see any more lightning over there in the north, we'll be all set. We're hoping to get the last 7 minutes of this game over with tonight. I'd hate to see him come back after this, such a great first 3 quarters of football, and have to come back like tomorrow or some other time to finish this thing out.
Well, it's not good for either team. I mean, you know, this memory, the way it is right now, is going to linger on, and you know, you don't really want it tampered in any way. And hopefully we can get this thing in. It's going to be nip and tuck, though, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Jack. I'll be nip, you be tuck.
Okay, I'll be tuck. Okay.
And but I don't know how much time they're going to give them to warm up here. Probably 3 minutes or so. So before the teams
There's
actually take.
not
the
a lot of
field.
people left here, though. Although the northern side has a few, but the central has their core thing over there. You know, I was talking to you during the delay, and I was kind of impressed with the central spirit. I mean, they're yelling, you know, Mustangs, Mustangs, and then they deteriorated into what I call is some pretty pathetic demonstration of poor spirit.
Yeah, it was pretty sad when you know, there is that underlying theme here of Portage Northern feeling like they really don't have a home field, with the McCamley being right across the street from Portage Central and the practice fields being right here. And technically we're supposed to be the home team here today, but
yeah, their chance of get off our field was not really well received from this side of the thing.
Get off our field and go home.
Yeah, get off our field and go home. You know,
that really just adds to that feeling that.
Well, yeah, and then they wonder. I mean, you know, whose fault is it? I mean, you know, Central doesn't want us here. We don't want to be here. You know, obviously, I think we'd do better if we had our own place, but who knows? You know, that's not for us to call. Now, you know, I came from Flint, and of course, they only had when I was going in Flint, they had one stadium. But it was at none of the schools. It was a neutral place, and all 4 schools played there, and that was fine. I mean, Atwood Stadium, it was kind of like going up to Western and play. So, I mean, that was a big deal. But, you know, this is kind of a touchy thing, and unfortunately, I think the Huskies feel they get the wrong end of it.
Yeah, and I thought the sad part about it is that it's too bad that the players are playing their heart out on the field, and since the score was in favor of the Huskies, it was almost like some of the fans, and like I say, it was a minority of the fans, but they found one little sore spot to try to diminish the win that Portage Northern may have here tonight. So we'll see. I think the kids on the field aren't even aware of anything like that going on. But
well, it was pretty obvious. The ones, you know, the little group over there that was doing it wasn't watching the game because they were yelling one-man team. And you know, the game I saw has been a lot more than one person in the scoring, as well as some nice plays at the line.
Yeah,
so unfortunately, that's too bad.
We had mentioned at the beginning of the program here that this was not going to be a one-man effort here in order to win, because you can shut down one man. You know, Kelly has had some nice runs, but we can't look past the idea of Deshaun Young's touchdown catch. And
yeah, you know what? It looks like they're going to start right now.
Hey,
You know?
I'm all for it.
Wow.
I am all for it here. We've had quite a not a rain delay, but a lightning delay. And what they have to do is they have to, if lightning strikes, they have to wait 15 minutes. And as long as, if they see 15 minutes, or if they see another bolt of lightning somewhere, then they have to start the clock again at 15 minutes. So, well, here we go. We're back on the 46-yard line. 6:57 left to go in the game.
Second down.
Second down and 8.
And let's get that clock going here as soon as that ball's hiked.
And here goes Kelly Baraka.
He's got away. He's got a seam.
Well,
that's a way to start out that second, coming back from that, huh? Look at that.
You know, I've often said that without Kelly, we probably wouldn't be able to do it.
You know, I'm not sure that the Portage Central kids looked like they wanted to play on that play. I don't know, but Kelly got on the open, and once he saw that seam, he was gone. Oh, yeah, that's great. That's a killer right there.
10 seconds have run off the clock. So
yeah, well, you know what's going to happen now. If they call it again, I'm not sure the Central kids want to come back.
I think that's really
that kind of did it.
And you know what too is that you remember we were talking about Kelly and Joey being this is their first game back for a while from a layoff, and that rest in there could really have freshened their legs up a little bit. So this it could have been to the advantage of Northern. Kicks up and it looks good, so that puts the score at 40-15, I believe, with 6 minutes and 47 seconds left to go in the game.
Well, maybe we'll hear some more get off our field cheers, because that's about all they can cheer about right now, I think.
There's not much to cheer about if you're a Portage Central fan. They definitely have got kind of rocked there the first play from scrimmage. Both times the first play from scrimmage, you know, to start the first quarter after Portage Northern got the ball back, they had a similar play that they handed off to Kelly Baraka, and he scored a touchdown from about 70 yards. And then with the lightning delay, they come out of the locker rooms after about an hour break, or maybe even more than that, and they're ready to play football. And the first play from scrimmage, there they go. They get, you know, they hand the ball off to Kelly, and he scores a touchdown. So
he just slipped that one tackle and he was open. Well, let's see if we can, you know, put the ball in play here and see if Central's going to go after it in the air, or they just want to get it over with. So it'll be kind of an interesting move here.
I'll be really surprised if Bob doesn't go after that touchdown and just keep plugging away. That's what he did last year, and the score was actually pretty comparable last year. And even in the third and fourth quarter last year, when this game was practically out of reach, he was still going after it, and that's just the way he is. And that's why he's so successful. Right there's a good reason here. Number 44.
There's a flag on the play, Kenny.
Number 44, Schofield, Dan Schofield from Portage Central. He's the one that ran it back before. Right. And I'll tell you what, the special teams once again really.
The Huskies are going to have to work on their kick coverage, that's for sure. But they got a flag on the play, and it's holding against Portage Central.
Well, that brings that play back, which is really fortunate for the Huskies. But you never know on those holding calls. I mean, without the hold, you don't know if a guy would have gotten a hand on him or not. So there's been a number of times tonight that the Mustangs have shot themselves in the foot in key situations.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, that, you know, the Huskies usually are famous for that. And they pretty well, other than a couple times, really had their composure under control and really played a nice, smart game.
Why are they talking to the Portage Central quarterback if well, we're trying to straighten this thing out here too. Well, they said it was holding against Portage Central, and then the referees were talking to the Portage Central quarterback. I'm not sure exactly what the conversation was about there. Maybe they were explaining who it was.
I think we're getting some of the cobwebs out after that long delay here. I think everybody's trying to get on the same page.
It's tough for these young guys and the coaches and the fans and everybody to get
back. And the officials too. Officials are, you know, they didn't want to be around here either. They probably want this over with.
Okay, the split back formation. 2 wide outs. And they're going back to that
same play. Same play.
That tight end dump off that veer. I'll tell you what, they run. That's their bread and butter pass, boy. And as a defensive back, if you're not awake,
you know, he's not even touched at the line of scrimmage. I mean, he's just running free right down through there. You know, I think somebody's got to bump them a little bit here to, delay that. Because, we have a pretty good rush on them, but we just don't have that kind of time.
Yeah, I think that our outside linebackers are definitely not holding the ends in like they're supposed to on that. So, boy, I'll tell you, he's going after it.
Oh, I thought.
Hey, that was
almost
that
intercepted.
was that was a good heads-up play by Burleson. The Portage Central receiver, number 84, Braxma, slipped to come back for the ball, and Burleson was right there, almost had a hold of it. So that was a kind of a good break, or a lucky break for Portage Central on that one. Boy, I look around, Jack, and I still see flashes of lightning here and there. I'm sure hoping that the referees kind of use their wits, because most of it's off in the distance. And they're going Levere. The quarterback doesn't quite know whether he wants to run it or pitch it back, and so Shooter decides finally to keep it.
Yeah,
And,
Shooter was pretty undecided where he wanted to go on that one.
But the Huskies have come out here after that break, and they're still ready to play. I mean, that puts them in a 3rd down and long situation here with about 6 minutes left to go in the game. And you can just see the confidence build for the Northern Huskies here through the rest of this, or through the progress of this game.
Well, I'm pretty pleased they came out and looked like they really want to put an end to this game in good fashion. That's instead of just getting over with it.
Well, I'll tell you what, they better wake up over here. Yeah, finally they get a couple guys out on the wideouts here. Portage Central has 2 guys wide on the left side of the field, and then they're going to flare it out, a little screen pass, but good coverage, good pursuit, but a couple missed tackles. A nice block downfield by number 73 for Portage Central, who got him, that's Jensen. Who,
a little short of the 1st down, though, Ken.
Tell you what, that was, they made a few yards out of nothing there.
Big play now. What, 2 yards, you think?
4th down and 2, 4th down and 3, and they're going for it at this point.
Well, that means they also got to run some time off the clock, though, too. They're going to have to probably, obviously run this ball instead of pass it. So, see what happens.
Once again, they come out double wide to this side. 2 backs. Shooter at the line. And boy, hit at the line, but second effort. I'll tell you what, that was a great job there by the Portage Northern defensive line to jam things up in the backfield. But number 30 there, the fullback, Dimmick, did a great job of coming up with some second effort. Boy, I'll tell you what, he looks like a tank. He's kind of
it's low center of gravity, and they just didn't get his legs. They just kind of hit him up high and just bounced around, but he kept going.
Okay, now they're back to their 2 wideouts on opposite sides. They got split backs. Quarterback runs a veer. He's going that dump and batted down at the line of scrimmage. Heads up ball there by number 62 for Portage Northern. I
think it was 50.
50?
Yeah, 50.
Okay, that was Quint McKinley that batted that thing down. I thought it was Vavrovsky, but and he's a pretty tall kid. He's got a good wingspan on him. So
does that mean he flies?
He definitely flies.
Well, I know he's got some big hands on him, and he just had a nice heads-up play there.
Portage Central comes back to the line of scrimmage. Shooters up under center, split backs. Boy, they're getting off the ball hard. He's doing a fade to the right side, just overthrows him. Number 84 there for the receiver, the Braxma, and just overthrew him there. I believe he
was open, Ken.
He had that number 7 beat over there. He had Ryan Richards beat there on the right side.
Well, there's a thunder in the background and some flashes, and we obviously know it's not the Kalamazoo Gazette out here taking pictures, but you know.
Boy, 3rd and long here. This part of the field. This can be really a dangerous play for Northern.
It's also the most chewed up part of the field too, so it's going to be a little tougher for them to convert in through here.
Boy, good
great play.
Good play by number 58, Portage Northern there. That's Steve Schuring. Great play. He got through there practically untouched, and he just wrapped up the quarterback there, Jack, before he could make a decision of whether he wanted to pitch it or run it.
I'll tell you, Kenny, our defense has played well tonight. You know, as poorly as I've watched them play a couple games this year, they've played well. I think really the credit of this game goes to the line of scrimmage at both offense and defense. They've really done some nice jobs.
they've made great strides there, and a lot of that I believe is becoming familiar with the offense and defense that the coaches have put in, and I think they're just from this point on they can really use this as a springboard to the rest of their season here if they. Okay, back to pass. Shooter's looking downfield. He swings it out to number 32. Makes one move, makes a cut. I'll tell you what, one mistake though, he stayed in bounds.
No, they got out of bounds. Yeah. We've got a tackle though. I mean, we've been, you know, hitting the guy high and we're not going low.
Well, I tell you, I'm pretty impressed with this Pitnick and Dimmick in the backfield. They run the hall barred. You know?
The ball hard? Yeah. Okay. Well, it's our ball now, so let's see what we can do. We can run some time off here. And were you kind of surprised with that call at all?
Yeah, I was. But maybe,
I mean, especially with that one little slant play kind of working every single time. You know, it's
maybe somebody saw something up here, and one of the coaches up here in the box saw something that they could maybe attack a weakness or
well, right now we've got to hang on the ball because they're going to be going after it. They're going to be slapping at us for sure.
Oh, we got our
oh my God, look at this.
Number
look at
30 here.
Look at this. Go, baby. Go, baby. Go, baby. Nice play.
Rob Ender for the Huskies in their tailback. A whole new backfield in there. I didn't see that until I looked up. It's Rob Ender back there at tailback and Paul Sarantos at fullback. That's an all-junior backfield there now. So I think Coach Skirmahorn is maybe looking for the future here with this one.
Does that mean we're not a one-man team now?
I don't know. I was thinking
that
same thing. That maybe there's one more man in there that they have to worry about. But. And we got the same underclass backfield there with Ender and Sarantos. They give the Sarantos up the middle. He's pretty much buried, but he racks up a couple yards there before they finally bring him down.
Well, this unit will do a great job. They just eat up the clock and keep the ball under control. And right now they're playing well.
I think it's great, too, and Coach Skirmahorn knows that. It's great for those young kids to get into this game, no matter at what time, because just the feeling of being on the field in during such a great rivalry is really exciting. These kids will really think back on that long after they're done playing football in high school. Got a new quarterback up in there now. Number, I can't quite see the number here.
34.
Number 34. Boy, the whole
nice run
is different. Number 34 is Mark Williams. He's come back from an injury. He's had shoulder problems. And running at tailback there was... well, now you got us here, guys. We're John Caracula. John Caracula was running there at tailback, and so he's going too deep in his underclassmen. So Williams has kind of been plagued with shoulder injuries throughout his career here at Portage Northern. It's just nice to have him be able to get in there and take a few snaps.
Pretty good flash of lightning there, Kenny. I think the officials are ignoring it, though, with 1:50 to go.
Pitched out to Caracula. Whoa. Oh, there's that field. Oh. A little extracurricular, but it's all in good fun.
Well,
that's a wake-up.
Pretty sloppy field out there.
Yeah,
everybody's going to have a hard time stopping, I think.
And Portage Central calls timeout with 1 minute and 23 seconds left. And this has got to be a great feeling for the Portage Northern group. They've had some real rough times. You know, they were really demoralized after that Mattawan loss. I think that you know, you saw the kids walking around the hall, and they were really.
Well, they should have been.
And
they should have been. They played terrible.
They did
not
perform well.
And it was Mattawan's game of the year, and they've got to understand that when they play people that's the game of the year, they've got to rise to a level that they've got to compete with, you know, and and they didn't do that.
Well, Mattawan had been shooting for that one because, you know, they've been taking a lot of razzing in their conference for being a Division I or a Class A school in a Class C
playing
conference.
A bunch of patsy small schools.
And they're kind of getting tired of it. And they come over here, and it was their shot to beat Portage Northern. And Portage Northern at that time was ranked like in the top 10 in the state.
Yeah, well, it's the first Class A school they got to play, and they thumped us. You know, then they turn around, they lose to Kalamazoo Christian. So this is the same type of thing. You know, it's a mental game. You know, you got to prepare yourself.
Okay, we got Williams under center. He hands it off to number 43, the fullback.
Broke through. Oh, got a flag in the line. Got some holding, I think.
Hold. Yep, he threw it right at one of our offensive linemen. That's Ben Kindem. He's a fullback.
That's too bad. That was a good run.
That sure was, and those kids are working real hard out there, and there's a lot of bright, shiny white uniforms out in that field right now.
You know, we're still doing a good job on the line, too, so I'm impressed.
Well, they declined the penalty, and it's first down. That was a 4th and 10, so it was first down.
They're backing them up, aren't they?
Nope, it's first down Mustangs.
And what are we doing back here in the 35-yard line? We're going to...
Well, we're dropping back into our defensive huddle because we don't want
prevent D, huh?
Yeah, they don't want to.
Yeah, the NFL prevent D.
They don't want Portage Central to hear our defensive calls. So, boy, they better start counting heads because everybody's running around out there.
Yeah,
I'm not sure that that's
a lot of helmets out there.
Trying to get everybody in at the same time. Heck, Pete, just put them all in. See what happens. Okay, that's that inside trap that they like to run, and they did bust it for about 8 or 9 yards. Boy, I'll tell you what, they're still going at it. They don't want to end this thing at 40 to 15. You know what's nice about this, Jack, though, is that Portage Northern wins this. There aren't enough students in the crowd to tear the goalposts down anymore. Boy, shoot it.
Yeah, but we can always hope for a lightning strike.
That's true. Shooter dropped back to pass, and just nobody was open, and he's rushed. The pocket kind of collapsed around him, and that was a good play by defense, Portage Northern. We got 30 seconds left to go here in the game.
It's just a great win for the Huskies. Just a great win. I mean, I'm just hoping this year, you know, last year they won this game, and then they turned around and they kind of fizzled it away at the end, you know, and you can't do that. I mean, this is only one game. It's a big game, but it's got to be as important as the rest of them.
Yep. Shooter back to throw. Oh, my gosh.
Here we go.
Here we go. Oh, nice shoestring tackle there. Braxma.
4 seconds to go.
Down the sideline, and John Caracula finally caught up with him and just dove for the shoelaces to save the touchdown with 4 seconds left to go. And Portage Central takes the timeout. Now all of a sudden they're thinking, man, I want to get in that end zone one more time, Jack.
I don't care. We won.
Let them have it, huh?
Shoot. I'm sure they don't feel that way.
No, there's definitely some pride issues here.
Right. You know, and luckily for me, I teach at North Middle School one class, and I have a lot of Central people that are my aides and stuff over there. It's going to be a little easier to go back to work on Monday.
Yeah, it'll be a few more smiles.
A little bit more easier.
I think. And it's always, you know, it's always nice to beat Portage Central on their home field. Boy, the whole last half here has been kind of mixed with drizzles and everything else. But I'll tell you, with the exception of just a couple plays, I don't think it's really affected either team.
No, actually, it's been a well-played game. I mean, our kids have really played with focus. And really, it's a good highlight film game. Boy, I'll tell you, we've had some great plays.
A lot of big plays on both sides of the ball. Shooter back to throw. Throws it over the middle.
Oh, I think they're interference, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Interference, yeah. Good
I thought
call.
it was broken up pretty well, but he must have grabbed him, and then number 21 came in, I think.
Yeah, he grabbed him early. Grabbed him early. Well, we're going to give him another shot. I think these group of kids just want to play longer.
Yeah, I think so. They're savoring the moment.
That's right.
There's a couple seniors out there that want one more play at this thing.
I think Sherhorn wants a timeout, I think. I'm not sure.
I think he's calling the type of defense.
Oh. You do that or don't touch me, one or the other. Or you can't touch this.
Weren't they going to make some T-shirts up with that or a slogan or something? Or?
Plainwell has that.
I don't remember that.
That's the Plainwell T-shirt.
Okay. Oh, lightning. We're going to have to call it.
Yeah, we have, what, 4 seconds? We'll bring them back tomorrow. Oh, no, I got any time left.
No time left. Last offensive play. No time left. Last offensive play. And Huskies want to shut it down. They don't want them in that end zone.
Not quite sure where the line of scrimmage is, I don't think.
So they're going to get one shot from the 20-yard line, do or die. This is basically for
no, Kenny, they've
pride.
already died.
Yeah,
what are you talking about, do or die? I mean,
with this one play.
Well, you know, it's
It's good work.
The object's
though,
to put it in the end zone, and that's
yeah,
what every play's
and
for.
One thing that Bobby Knight will do is he'll this is good practice for his kids because you never know when they need that one last
Oh, there's
play
some
to win.
holding. There's holding in the line, so they're going to bring this back no matter what, and we'll just decline
No,
that.
yeah, you can end the game on an offensive
Right.
penalty, but not on a defensive penalty. So it looks to me like
Yep, big win for the Huskies.
Huge.
What do we got? 40-15. Great win.
great win, and for the most part, a well-played ball game. You know, for as emotionally charged as this game is, there was a little bit of jawing around and a little bit of maybe hot-headedness, but in the end, I think cooler heads prevailed, and it really was a well-fought ball game.
Well, Kenny, I enjoyed being with you and
Well,
your
me too.
family.
Yeah, my family. Next time, my grandparents were going to come down. And, yep, Kevin was talking about that all day long. He wanted to be up here and watch this football game, and he just, I didn't realize he was going to get his few moments of fame so early in life. But
Well, I know the Husky fans will enjoy this on television. They might not like the announcing too much, but they'll enjoy this, and the Mustangs will probably not like the pitchers or the announcing. So, you know, it's just a lot of fun to be in this kind of environment. Unfortunately, you know, for the kids, they got empty stands here at the end, but
yep.
that's not why they necessarily play. I mean, it's that feeling of accomplishment and feeling of effort, and you know, both teams will go on, and hopefully they'll, you know, this conference will pick up and win some ball games here because.
Yep, and there we got a shot. Maybe if you guys can
yeah,
zoom
got
in
it.
on that.
They've
Okay, we got a
if
shot
you watch
of
the monitor. They
the
can see it.
oh yeah, there is that monitor there.
Yeah.
But we got the trophy up over our heads there, and you know what? I really don't think that they care if anybody's in the stands or not.
And hopefully lightning won't hit the top of that
yeah,
thing and
they hold it up there like a lightning rod and
blow them right out of there.
be a shocking ending to this game. But boy, I'm just really happy for the coaching staff that Pete Skormerhorn has put together, and Carl LaTorre as an AD has just done a super job of being supportive.
Absolutely.
And boy, the whole Husky.
Ooh,
crowd,
there's a big lightning.
and now
Well,
we're
Kenny,
getting
why don't you wrap it up by giving us some statistics?
Okay, Portage Northern won, and we won. And let's see, another statistic is that, do you know, by the year 2010,
Well, I don't know. I think Brock had, what, 210 yards tonight?
I think he did, and
Yep.
he ran the ball 38 times.
Yep.
So that was real good. And,
You know, and we had 350 yards in offense, and who gave me these things anyway?
Heather, I'd like to thank our statistician, Heather Mogelson. She's just done a super job for us
I
today.
think you've been here too long. What time is it?
We have been here
Or
way
either
too
that or
long.
lightning struck, one or the other.
But I'd just like to congratulate Portage Northern one last time. And Portage Central, it was just a great game. It's a shame that there always has to be a winner and a loser sometimes, but you know that's why we play these things.
That's not a shame at all. You gotta, you gotta understand what winning is about.
I'm trying to put my feelings.
If
on the
you
line
lose,
here.
if you lose, you gotta know what winning's about. So that's the difference.
I'm beginning to understand all those comments that your volleyball players make, and doggone it. But I'll tell you, honestly, I really enjoyed it, and maybe we'll do it again if they let us.
There's a rocket game I think next week we can probably do.
Right. Hey, good night, folks.
Okay.